Yes, it is already streaming. Yes. Okay, great. So without much ado, let us get started. So welcome everybody to this session 4 of online Bhagavad Gita Parayan and Satsang. In 2024, we have slightly modified from the previous online sessions. And in this year, we are actually doing full chapters chanting. And also, since there are, sometimes some of the chapters some days we have to chant longer. And today is one of such days in which we have to do about 106 verses to be chanted today. Because we are going to cover chapters 5, 6, and 7, very important chapters. And tomorrow is a very auspicious day. We have Vyasa Purnima or Guru Purnima. Remembering all the Guru traditions, let us get started. So initially, we will have uh, the invocation by Padmaniji. Padmaniji, you can go ahead.
Om. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Saha Viryam Karavavahai Tejasvi Navadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shuklam Varadharam Vishnum Shashivarnam Chaturbhujam Prasannavadanam Dhyayet Sarva Vignopashantaye Saraswati Namastubhyam Varade Kamarupini Vidyarambham Karishyami Siddhir Bhavatu Me Sada. Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwarah Guru Sakshat Parabrahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Jnananandamayam Devam Nirmalam Sphatikakritim Adharam Sarva Vidyanam Hayagrivam Upasmahe. Sarvamangalamangalye Shive Sarvarthasadhike Sharanye Trambake Gauri Narayani Namostute Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsachanora Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum.
Hari Om. Thank you so much, Padmaniji. So let us. So that is very nicely chanted. And now for today, we have immense pleasure in having Dr. Varaprasadji, President of Hindu Center, as our guest of honor or for doing the welcome address for today. He's been a long-term, one of the leading lights of Hinduism in Singapore, and also a very long-term friend and associate of Gita Jayanti. I don't think I need to introduce Dr. Prasadji. He doesn't need any introduction whatsoever. So I will disable my sharing now and hand over the screen to Dr. Prasadji. Over to Prasadji.
Namaste and thank you, KKG. Pranams to Bhagavan Sri Krishna. I would like to thank the Gita Jayanti committee and in particular Chairman Srinivasanji for honoring me and Hindu Center by inviting me to speak today. What started during the COVID pandemic as online Gita Parayan has now become a regular feature of Gita Jayanti because people have become very accustomed today to having online classes, meetings, even after the pandemic has subsided. So I understand up to 70, 80 people might be participating in the online Gita Parayan. We all know that the Gita, set within the grand epic of the Mahabharata, captures a crucial dialogue between Prince Arjuna and his charioteer, Bhagavan Sri Krishna, on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. Arjuna is faced with a moral dilemma and the prospect of fighting against his own kin. Arjuna is paralyzed by doubt and sorrow. And it is in this moment of crisis that Lord Sri Krishna imparts his divine wisdom, addressing the nature of duty, righteousness, and the path of spiritual liberation. In today's world, we ourselves, mortal beings, are often confronted with similar ethical dilemmas, but of varying degrees, and also the quest for meaning. This is where the teachings of the Gita remain as relevant as ever and ever. Its verses guide us towards understanding our roles and responsibilities, finding balance in action, and attaining a higher state of consciousness. The Gita encourages us to rise above our fears and our doubts, to act with wisdom and compassion, and to seek the eternal truth that lies within each of us. It teaches us that true peace and happiness come not from external achievements, but from a deep understanding of our inner selves and connection to the divine. The spiritual journey begins by redirecting our thoughts from material pursuits to spiritual aspirations. The Gita gives us valuable insights into the practices of Karma Yoga, path of action, Bhakti Yoga, path of devotion, and Jnana Yoga, path of knowledge. It is through these practices that the mind becomes calm and free from desire. I encourage all of you to engage with these teachings, reflect on their significance in your own lives, and share your insights and questions. Let this session be a journey of collective learning and spiritual growth as we uncover the profound wisdom embedded in this ancient text. While jnana can be discovered, bhakti has to be experienced. Those who are liberated are those who have managed to open the triple lock of jnana, bhakti, and karma. Thank you all for being here, and let us enter this session with a spirit of reverence and curiosity, ready to delve into the timeless teachings of the Bhagavad Gita. As we continue on this journey through the Gita, it is critical that we embrace its teachings with an open mind and a receptive heart. I will stop here and leave it to the main speaker, Sri R.S. Raviji, to explain and elaborate more on these different aspects of the Bhagavad Gita from chapter 5, 6, and 7, and I think possibly 8 and 9 as well.
No.
Namaste and thank you. Krishna ji, you may correct me if I'm wrong. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Prasadji. Thank you so much. So beautifully you have summarized the whole of the Gita and the whole ideas of the Gita itself. We are only covering 5, 6, and 7 only. 8 and 9 will not be there. That's all. Only small correction only. As you have beautifully said, typically the Parayanas do only the the bhakti aspect. Only do the kind of devotion only. But in our sessions, we are actually trying to focus on the on the jnana also. So for that, we are actually doing two things. We are first of all having the talks, which is a new feature from I think last 2022 also. We had this summary talks for the portions which are being chanted will be elaborated and discussed on by some learned speakers. And we also show the meanings of each of the words which is being chanted. So these are two things that we are doing. So like Dr. Prasadji said, we should also, in addition to chanting, we should also try to understand what the verses mean, so that the whole of the Gita can become a part of our life. So that is the whole idea. Thank you so much again, Dr. Prasadji. Let me get back to the sharing part.
No, I just want to add one more thing. We also give the purport of each sloka as they are chanted.
Yeah, correct. Okay, so we will again, we have in our session today, we first have the Gita Dhyanam, basically meditation on the Gita. After that, we will get back to the main text itself. So for doing the Gita Dhyanam chanting, invite Padmini.
Om Shri Paramatmane Namaha. Atha Srimad Bhagavad Gita Dhyanam. Om Parthaya Pratibodhitam Bhagavata Narayanena Swayam Vyasena Gratitam Purana Munina Madhye Mahabharatam Advaitamritavarshinim Bhagavatim Ashtadashadhyayinim Amba Tvam Anusandadhami Bhagavad Gita Bhavadveshini Namostute Vyasa Vishala Buddhe Pullara Vindayata Patra Netra Yena Tvaya Bharata Taila Purnaha Prajvalito Jnanamaya Pradipaha Prapanna Parijataya Totra Vetraika Panaye Jnanamudraya Krishnaya Gitamritaduhe Namaha Sarvopanishado Gavaha Dogdha Gopalanandanaha Partho Vatsa Sudhir Bhokta Dugdham Gitamritam Mahat Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsachanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum Bhishma Tata Jayadratha Jala Gandhara Nilotpala Shalyagrahavati Kripena Vahani Karnena Velakula Ashwathama Vikarna Ghora Makara Duryodhana Vartini Sotirna Khalu Pandavairananadi Kaivartakah Keshavaha Parasharya Vachasarodhi Mamalam Gitartha Gandhotkatam Nanakhyana Kachisaram Harikatha Sambodhana Bodhitam Loke Sajjana Tatpadairaharaha Pepiyamanam Muda Bhuyad Bharata Pankajam Kalimala Pradvamsina Shreyase Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langhayate Girim Yatkripatamaham Vande Paramananda Madhavam Yam Brahma Varunendra Rudra Marutaha Stunvanti Divyaistavaihi Vedai Sangha Padakramopanishadaihi Gayanti Yam Samagaha Dhyanavasthita Tadgatena Manasa Pashyanti Yam Yoginah Yasyantam Navidusura Suraganaha Devaya Tasmai Namaha.
Thank you so much, Padmini. Now we move over to the actual chanting of the Bhagavad Gita itself. So as we discussed earlier, today we'll be chanting chapters 5, 6, and 7. Chapter 5 has 29 verses, chapter 6 has 47 verses, and chapter 7 has 30 verses. Altogether, 106 verses. So, so since in the interest of time, we also need to chant a bit faster. So, requesting Padmini and all of this to go in a slightly faster pace, so that we can finish by about 12 o'clock or 12 or 12:05 or something. Okay, over to Padmini.
Atha Panchamodhyayah Karma Sannyasa Yogah Arjuna Uvacha Sannyasam Karmanam Krishna Punaryogancha Shamsasi Yachreya Yetayorekam Tanme Bruhitu Nishchitam.
Arjuna Uvacha Sannyasam Karmanam Krishna Punaryogancha Shamsasi Yachreya Etayorekam तन्मे ब्रूहि सुनिश्चितम्।
श्रीभगवानुवाच सन्न्यासः कर्मयोगश्च निःश्रेयसकरावुभौ तयोस्तु कर्मसन्न्यासात् कर्मयोगो विशिष्यते।
श्रीभगवानुवाच सन्न्यासः कर्मयोगश्च निःश्रेयसकरावुभौ तयोस्तु कर्मसन्न्यासात् कर्मयोगो विशिष्यते।
ज्ञेयः स नित्यसन्न्यासी यो न द्वेष्टि न काङ्क्षति निर्द्वन्द्वो हि महाबाहो सुखं बन्धात् प्रमुच्यते।
ज्ञेयः स नित्यसन्न्यासी यो न द्वेष्टि न काङ्क्षति निर्द्वन्द्वो हि महाबाहो सुखं बन्धात् प्रमुच्यते।
साङ्ख्ययोगौ पृथक् बालाः प्रवदन्ति न पण्डिताः एकमप्यास्थितः सम्यक् उभयोर्विन्दते फलम्।
साङ्ख्ययोगौ पृथक् बालाः प्रवदन्ति न पण्डिताः एकमप्यास्थितः सम्यक् उभयोर्विन्दते फलम्।
यत्साङ्ख्यैः प्राप्यते स्थानं तद्योगैरपि गम्यते एकं साङ्ख्यं च योगं च यः पश्यति स पश्यति।
यत्साङ्ख्यैः प्राप्यते स्थानं तद्योगैरपि गम्यते एकं साङ्ख्यं च योगं च यः पश्यति स पश्यति।
सन्न्यासस्तु महाबाहो दुःखमाप्तुमयोगतः योगयुक्तो मुनिर्ब्रह्म न चिरेणाधिगच्छति।
सन्न्यासस्तु महाबाहो दुःखमाप्तुमयोगतः योगयुक्तो मुनिर्ब्रह्म न चिरेणाधिगच्छति।
योगयुक्तो विशुद्धात्मा विजितात्मा जितेन्द्रियः सर्वभूतात्मा भूतात्मा कुर्वन्नपि न लिप्यते।
योगयुक्तो विशुद्धात्मा विजितात्मा जितेन्द्रियः सर्वभूतात्मा भूतात्मा कुर्वन्नपि न लिप्यते।
नैव किञ्चित् करोमीति युक्तो मन्येत तत्त्ववित् पश्यन् शृण्वन् स्पृशन् जिघ्रन् अश्नन् गच्छन् श्वपन् श्वसन्।
नैव किञ्चित् करोमीति युक्तो मन्येत तत्त्ववित् पश्यन् शृण्वन् स्पृशन् जिघ्रन् अश्नन् गच्छन् स्वपन् श्वसन्।
प्रलपन् विसृजन् गृह्णन् उन्मिषन् निमिषन्नपि इन्द्रियाणीन्द्रियार्थेषु वर्तन्त इति धारयन्।
प्रलपन् विसृजन् गृह्णन् उन्मिषन् निमिषन्नपि इन्द्रियाणीन्द्रियार्थेषु वर्तन्त इति धारयन्।
ब्रह्मण्याधाय कर्माणि सङ्गं त्यक्त्वा करोति यः लिप्यते न स पापेन पद्मपत्रमिवाम्भसा।
ब्रह्मण्याधाय कर्माणि सङ्गं त्यक्त्वा करोति यः लिप्यते न स पापेन पद्मपत्रमिवाम्भसा।
कायेन मनसा बुद्ध्या केवलैरिन्द्रियैरपि योगिनः कर्म कुर्वन्ति सङ्गं त्यक्त्वात्मशुद्धये।
कायेन मनसा बुद्ध्या केवलैरिन्द्रियैरपि योगिनः कर्म कुर्वन्ति सङ्गं त्यक्त्वात्मशुद्धये।
युक्तः कर्मफलं त्यक्त्वा शान्तिमाप्नोति नैष्ठिकीम् अयुक्तः कामकारेण फले सक्तो निबध्यते।
युक्तः कर्मफलं त्यक्त्वा शान्तिमाप्नोति नैष्ठिकीम् अयुक्तः कामकारेण फले सक्तो निबध्यते।
सर्वकर्माणि मनसा सन्न्यस्यास्ते सुखं वशी नवद्वारे पुरे देहि नैव कुर्वन्न कारयन्।
सर्वकर्माणि मनसा सन्न्यस्यास्ते सुखं वशी नवद्वारे पुरे देहि नैव कुर्वन्न कारयन्
न कर्तृत्वं न कर्माणि लोकस्य सृजति प्रभुः न कर्मफलसंयोगं स्वभावस्तु प्रवर्तते
न कर्तृत्वं न कर्माणि लोकस्य सृजति प्रभुः न कर्मफलसंयोगं स्वभावस्तु प्रवर्तते
नादत्ते कस्यचित् पापं न चैव सुकृतं विभुः अज्ञानेनावृतं ज्ञानं तेन मुह्यन्ति जन्तवः
नादत्ते कस्यचित् पापं न चैव सुकृतं विभुः अज्ञानेनावृतं ज्ञानं तेन मुह्यन्ति जन्तवः
ज्ञानेन तु तदज्ञानं येषां नाशितमात्मनः तेषामादित्यवज्ञानं प्रकाशयति तत्परम्
ज्ञानेन तु तदज्ञानं येषान्नाशितमात्मनः तेषामादित्यवज्ञानं प्रकाशयति तत्परम्
तद्बुद्धयस्तदात्मानः तन्निष्ठास्तत्परायणाः गच्छन्त्य पुनरावृत्तिं ज्ञाननिर्धूतकल्मषाः
तद्बुद्धयस्तदात्मानः तन्निष्ठास्तत्परायणाः गच्छन्त्य पुनरावृत्तिं ज्ञाननिर्धूतकल्मषाः
विद्या विनयसम्पन्ने ब्राह्मणे गविहस्तिनि शुनि चैव श्वपाके च पण्डिताः समदर्शिनः
विद्या विनय संपन्ने ब्राह्मणे गविहस्तिनि शुनि चैव श्वपाके च पंडिताः समदर्शिनः इहैव तैर्जितः सर्गः येषां साम्ये स्थितं मनः निर्दोषं हि समं ब्रह्म तस्मात् ब्रह्मणि ते स्थिताः
इहैव तैर्जितः सर्गः येषां साम्ये स्थितं मनः निर्दोषं हि समं ब्रह्म तस्मात् ब्रह्मणि ते स्थिताः
न प्रहृष्येत् प्रियं प्राप्य नोद्विजेत् प्राप्य चाप्रियं स्थिरबुद्धिरसम्मूढः ब्रह्मविद् ब्रह्मणि स्थितः
न प्रहृष्येत् प्रियं प्राप्य नोद्विजेत् प्राप्य चाप्रियं स्थिरबुद्धिरसम्मूढः ब्रह्मविद् ब्रह्मणि स्थितः
बाह्यस्पर्शेष्वसक्तात्मा विन्दत्यात्मनि यत् सुखं स ब्रह्मयोगयुक्तात्मा सुखमक्षयमश्नुते
बाह्यस्पर्शेष्वसक्तात्मा विन्दत्यात्मनि यत् सुखं स ब्रह्मयोगयुक्तात्मा सुखमक्षयमश्नुते
ये हि संस्पर्शजा भोगाः दुःखयोनय एव ते आद्यन्तवन्तः कौन्तेय न तेषु रमते बुधः
ये हि संस्पर्शजा भोगाः दुःखयोनय एव ते आद्यन्तवन्तः कौन्तेय न तेषु रमते बुधः
शक्नोति हैव यः सोढुं प्राक्शरीरविमोक्षणात् कामक्रोधोद्भवं वेगं स युक्तः स सुखी नरः
शक्नोति हैव यः सोढुं प्राक्शरीरविमोक्षणात् कामक्रोधोद्भवं वेगं स युक्तः स सुखी नरः
योऽन्तः सुखोऽन्तरारामः तथान्तर्ज्योतिरेव यः स योगी ब्रह्मनिर्वाणं ब्रह्मभूतोऽधिगच्छति
योऽन्तः सुखोऽन्तरारामः तथान्तर्ज्योतिरेव यः स योगी ब्रह्मनिर्वाणं ब्रह्मभूतोऽधिगच्छति
लभन्ते ब्रह्म निर्वाणं ऋषयः क्षीणकल्मषाः छिन्नद्वैधायतात्मानः सर्वभूतहिते रताः
लभन्ते ब्रह्म निर्वाणम् ऋषयः क्षीणकल्मषाः छिन्नद्वैधायतात्मानः सर्वभूतहिते रताः
कामक्रोधवियुक्तानां यतीनां यतचेतसाम् अभितो ब्रह्म निर्वाणं वर्तते विदितात्मनाम्
कामक्रोधवियुक्तानां यतीनां यतचेतसाम् अभितो ब्रह्म निर्वाणं वर्तते विदितात्मनाम्
स्पर्शान् कृत्वा बहिर्बाह्यान् चक्षुश्चैवान्तरे भ्रुवोः प्राणापानौ समौ कृत्वा नासाभ्यन्तरचारिणौ
स्पर्शान् कृत्वा बहिर्बाह्यान् चक्षुश्चैवान्तरे भ्रुवोः प्राणापानौ समौ कृत्वा नासाभ्यन्तरचारिणौ
यतेन्द्रियमनोबुद्धिः मुनिर्मोक्षपरायणः विगतेच्छाभयक्रोधः यः सदा मुक्त एव सः
यतेन्द्रियमनोबुद्धिः मुनिर्मोक्षपरायणः विगतेच्छाभयक्रोधः यः सदा मुक्त एव सः
भोक्तारं यज्ञतपसां सर्वलोकमहेश्वरं सुहृदं सर्वभूतानां ज्ञात्वा मां शान्तिमृच्छति
भोक्तारं यज्ञतपसां सर्वलोकमहेश्वरं सुहृदं सर्वभूतानां ज्ञात्वा मां शान्तिमृच्छति
ॐ तत्सत् इति श्रीमद्भगवद्गीतासु उपनिषत्सु ब्रह्मविद्यायां योगशास्त्रे श्रीकृष्णार्जुनसंवादे कर्मसन्न्यासयोगो नाम पञ्चमोऽध्यायः अथ षष्ठोऽध्यायः आत्मसंयमयोगः श्रीभगवानुवाच अनाश्रितः कर्मफलं कार्यं कर्म करोति यः स सन्न्यासी च योगी च न निरग्निर्न चाक्रियः
श्रीभगवानुवाच अनाश्रितः कर्मफलं कार्यं कर्म करोति यः स सन्न्यासी च योगी च न निरग्निर्न चाक्रियः
यं सन्न्यासमिति प्राहुः योगन्तं विद्धि पाण्डव न ह्यसन्न्यस्तसङ्कल्पः योगी भवति कश्चन
यं सन्न्यासमिति प्राहुः योगं तं विद्धि पाण्डव न ह्यसन्न्यस्तसङ्कल्पः योगी भवति कश्चन
आरुरुक्षोर्मुनेर्योगं कर्म कारणमुच्यते योगारूढस्य तस्यैव शमः कारणमुच्यते
आरुरुक्षोर्मुनेर्योगं कर्म कारणमुच्यते योगारूढस्य तस्यैव शमः कारणमुच्यते
यदा हिनेन्द्रियार्थेषु न कर्मस्वनुषज्जते सर्वसङ्कल्पसन्न्यासी योगारूढस्तदोच्यते
यदा हिनेन्द्रियार्थेषु न कर्मस्वनुषज्जते सर्वसङ्कल्पसन्न्यासी योगारूढस्तदोच्यते
हरेदात्मनात्मानं नात्मानमवसादयेत् आत्मैव ह्यात्मनो बन्धुः आत्मैव रिपुरात्मनः
उद्धरेदात्मनात्मानं नात्मानमवसादयेत् आत्मैव ह्यात्मनो बन्धुः आत्मैव रिपुरात्मनः
बन्धुरात्मात्मनस्तस्य येनात्मैवात्मना जितः अनात्मनस्तु शत्रुत्वे वर्तेतात्मैव शत्रुवत्
बन्धुरात्मात्मनस्तस्य येनात्मैवात्मना जितः अनात्मनस्तु शत्रुत्वे वर्तेतात्मैव शत्रुवत्
जितात्मनः प्रशान्तस्य परमात्मा समाहितः शीतोष्णसुखदुःखेषु तथा मानापमानयोः
जितात्मनः प्रशान्तस्य परमात्मा समाहितः शीतोष्णसुखदुःखेषु तथा मानापमानयोः ज्ञानविज्ञानतृप्तात्मा कूटस्थो विजितेन्द्रियः युक्त इत्युच्यते योगी समलोष्टाश्मकाञ्चनः
ज्ञानविज्ञानतृप्तात्मा कूटस्थो विजितेन्द्रियः युक्त इत्युच्यते योगी समलोष्टाश्मकाञ्चनः
सुहृन्मित्रार्युदासीनमध्यस्थद्वेष्य बन्धुषु साधुष्वपि च पापेषु समबुद्धिर्विशिष्यते
सुहृन्मित्रार्युदासीनमध्यस्थद्वेष्य बन्धुषु साधुष्वपि च पापेषु समबुद्धिर्विशिष्यते
योगी युञ्जीत सततम् आत्मानं रहसि स्थितः एकाकीयत चित्तात्मा निराशीरपरिग्रहः
योगी युञ्जीत सततम् आत्मानं रहसि स्थितः एकाकीयत चित्तात्मा निराशीरपरिग्रहः
शुचौ देशे प्रतिष्ठाप्य स्थिरमासनमात्मनः नात्युच्छ्रितं नातिनीचं चैलाजिनकुशोत्तरम्
शुचौ देशे प्रतिष्ठाप्य स्थिरमासनमात्मनः नात्युच्छ्रितन्नातिनीचं चैलाजिनकुशोत्तरम्
तत्रैकाग्रं मनः कृत्वा यतचित्तेन्द्रियक्रियः उपविश्यासने युञ्ज्यात् योगमात्मविशुद्धये
तत्रैकाग्रं मनः कृत्वा यतचित्तेन्द्रियक्रियः उपविश्यासने युञ्ज्यात् योगमात्मविशुद्धये
समं कायशिरो ग्रीवं धारयन्नचलं स्थिरः सम्प्रेक्ष्य नासिकाग्रं स्वं दिशश्चानवलोकयन्
समं कायशिरो ग्रीवं धारयन्नचलं स्थिरः सम्प्रेक्ष्य नासिकाग्रं स्वं दिशश्चानवलोकयन्
प्रशान्तात्मा विगतभीः ब्रह्मचारि व्रते स्थितः मनः संयम्य मच्चित्तः युक्त आसीत मत्परः
प्रशान्तात्मा विगतभीः ब्रह्मचारिव्रते स्थितः मनः संयम्य मच्चित्तः युक्त आसीत मत्परः
युञ्जन्नेवं सदात्मानं योगी नियतमानसः शान्तिर्निर्वाणपरमां मत्संस्थामधिगच्छति
युञ्जन्नेवं सदात्मानं योगी नियतमानसः शान्तिर्निर्वाणपरमां मत्संस्थामधिगच्छति
नात्यश्नतस्तु योगोऽस्ति न चैकान्तमनश्नतः न चाति स्वप्नशीलस्य जाग्रतो नैव चार्जुन
नात्यश्नतस्तु योगोऽस्ति न चैकान्तमनश्नतः न चाति स्वप्नशीलस्य जाग्रतो नैव चार्जुन
युक्ताहारविहारस्य युक्तचेष्टस्य कर्मसु युक्तस्वप्नावबोधस्य योगी भवति दुःखः
युक्ताहार विहारस्य युक्तचेष्टस्य कर्मसु युक्तस्वप्नावबोधस्य योगो भवति दुःखः
यदा विनियतं चित्तम् आत्मन्येवावतिष्ठते निःस्पृहः सर्वकामेभ्यः युक्त इत्युच्यते तदा
यदा विनियतं चित्तम् आत्मन्येवावतिष्ठते निःस्पृहः सर्वकामेभ्यः युक्त इत्युच्यते तदा
यथा दीपो निवातस्थः नेङ्गते सोपमा स्मृता योगिनो यतचित्तस्य युञ्जतो योगमात्मनः
यथा दीपो निवातस्थः नेङ्गते सोपमा स्मृता योगिनो यतचित्तस्य युञ्जतो योगमात्मनः
यत्रो परमते चित्तं निरुद्धं योगसेवया यत्र चैवात्मनात्मानं पश्यन्नात्मनि तुष्यति
यत्रो परमते चित्तं निरुद्धं योगसेवया यत्र चैवात्मनात्मानं पश्यन्नात्मनि तुष्यति
सुखमात्यन्तिकं यत्तद् बुद्धिग्राह्यमतीन्द्रियं वेत्ति यत्र न चैवायं स्थितश्चलति तत्त्वतः
सुखमात्यन्तिकं यत्तद् बुद्धिग्राह्यमतीन्द्रियं वेत्ति यत्र न चैवायं स्थितश्चलति तत्त्वतः
यं लब्ध्वा चापरं लाभं मन्यते नाधिकं ततः यास्यस्मिन् स्थितो न दुःखेन गुरुणापि विचाल्यते
यल्लब्ध्वा चापरं लाभं मन्यते नाधिकं ततः यस्मिन् स्थितो न दुःखेन गुरुणापि विचाल्यते
तं विद्या दुःखसंयोगवियोगं योगसंज्ञितं स निश्चयेन योक्तव्यः योगो निर्विण्णचेतसा
तौ विद्या दुःखसंयोगवियोगं योगसंज्ञितं स निश्चयेन योक्तव्यः योगो निर्विण्णचेतसा
सङ्कल्पप्रभवान् कामान् त्यक्त्वा सर्वान् शेषतः मनसैवेन्द्रियग्रामं विनियम्य समन्ततः
संकल्प प्रभवान् कामान् त्यक्त्वा सर्वान् शेषतः मनसैवेन्द्रियग्रामं विनियम्य समन्ततः
शनैः शनैरुपरमे बुद्ध्या धृतिगृहीतया आत्मसंस्थं मनः कृत्वा न किञ्चिदपि चिन्तयेत्
शनैः शनैरुपरमेद् बुद्ध्या धृतिगृहीतया आत्मसंस्थं मनः कृत्वा न किञ्चिदपि चिन्तयेत् यतो यतो निश्चरति मनश्चञ्चलमस्थिरं ततस्ततो नियम्यैतदात्मन्येव वशन्नयेत्
यतो यतो निश्चरति मनश्चञ्चलमस्थिरं ततस्ततो नियम्यैतदात्मन्येव वशन्नयेत्
प्रशान्तमनसं ह्येनं योगिनं सुखमुत्तमम् उपैति शान्तरजसं ब्रह्मभूतमकल्मषम्
प्रशान्तमनसो ह्येनं योगिनौ सुखमुत्तमम् उपैति शान्तरजसं ब्रह्मभूतमकल्मषम्
युञ्जन्नेवं सदात्मना योगी विगतकल्मषः सुखेन ब्रह्म संस्पर्शम् अत्यन्तं सुखमश्नुते
युञ्जन्नेवं सदात्मानं योगी विगतकल्मषः सुखेन ब्रह्म संस्पर्शम् अत्यन्तं सुखमश्नुते
सर्वभूतस्थमात्मानं सर्वभूतानि चात्मनि ईक्षते योगयुक्तात्मा सर्वत्र समदर्शनः
सर्वभूतस्थमात्मानं सर्वभूतानि चात्मनि ईक्षते योगयुक्तात्मा सर्वत्र समदर्शनः
यो मां पश्यति सर्वत्र सर्वं च मयि पश्यति तस्याहं न प्रणश्यामि स च मे न प्रणश्यति
यो मां पश्यति सर्वत्र सर्वं च मयि पश्यति तस्याहं न प्रणश्यामि स च मे न प्रणश्यति
सर्वभूतस्थितं यो मां भजत्येकत्वमास्थितः सर्वथा वर्तमानोऽपि स योगी मयि वर्तते
सर्वभूतस्थितं यो मां भजत्येकत्वमास्थितः सर्वथा वर्तमानोऽपि स योगी मयि वर्तते
आत्मौपम्येन सर्वत्र समं पश्यति योऽर्जुन सुखं वा यदि वा दुःखं स योगी परमो मतः
आत्मौपम्येन सर्वत्र समं पश्यति योऽर्जुन सुखं वा यदि वा दुःखं स योगी परमो मतः
अर्जुन उवाच योऽयं योगस्त्वया प्रोक्तः साम्येन मधुसूदन एतस्याहं न पश्यामि चञ्चलत्वात् स्थितिं स्थिराम्
अर्जुन उवाच योऽयं योगस्त्वया प्रोक्तः साम्येन मधुसूदन एतस्याहं न पश्यामि चञ्चलत्वात् स्थितिं स्थिराम्
चञ्चलं हि मनः कृष्ण प्रमाथि बलवदृढम् तस्याहं निग्रहं मन्ये वायोरिव सुदुष्करम्
चञ्चलं हि मनः कृष्ण प्रमाथि बलवदृढम् तस्याहं निग्रहं मन्ये वायोरिव सुदुष्करम्
श्रीभगवानुवाच असंशयं महाबाहो मनो दुर्निग्रहं चलम् अभ्यासेन तु कौन्तेय वैराग्येण च गृह्यते
श्रीभगवानुवाच असंशयं महाबाहो मनो दुर्निग्रहं चलम् अभ्यासेन तु कौन्तेय वैराग्येण च गृह्यते
असंयतात्मना योगः दुष्प्राप इति मे मतिः वश्यात्मना तु यतता शक्यो वाप्तुमुपायतः
असंयतात्मना योगः दुष्प्राप इति मे मतिः वश्यात्मना तु यतता शक्यो वाप्तुमुपायतः
अर्जुन उवाच अयति श्रद्धयोपेतः योगाच्चलितमानसः अप्राप्य योगसंसिद्धिं कां गतिं कृष्ण गच्छति
अर्जुन उवाच अयति श्रद्धयोपेतः योगाच्छलितमानसः अप्राप्य योगसंसिद्धिं कां गतिं कृष्ण गच्छति
कच्चिन्नो भयविभ्रष्टः छिन्नाभ्रमिव नश्यति अप्रतिष्ठो महाबाहो विमूढो ब्रह्मणः पथि
कच्चिन्नो भयविभ्रष्टः छिन्नाभ्रमिव नश्यति अप्रतिष्ठो महाबाहो विमूढो ब्रह्मणः पथि
एतन्मे संशयं कृष्ण छेतुमर्हस्य शेषतः त्वदन्यः संशयस्यास्य छेत्ता न ह्युपपद्यते
एतन्मे संशयं कृष्ण छेतुमर्हस्य शेषतः त्वदन्यः संशयस्यास्य छेत्ता न ह्युपपद्यते
श्रीभगवानुवाच पार्थ नैवेह नामुत्र विनाशस्तस्य विद्यते न हि कल्याणकृत् कश्चित् दुर्गतिं तात गच्छति
श्रीभगवानुवाच पार्थ नैवेह नामुत्र विनाशस्तस्य विद्यते न हि कल्याणकृत् कश्चित् दुर्गतिं तात गच्छति
प्राप्य पुण्यकृतान् लोकान् उषित्वा शाश्वती समाः शुचीनां श्रीमतां गेहे योगभ्रष्टोऽभिजायते
प्राप्य पुण्यकृतान् लोकान् उषित्वा शाश्वती समाः शुचीनां श्रीमतां गेहे योगभ्रष्टोऽभिजायते
अथवा योगिनामेव कुले भवति धीमताम् एतद्धि दुर्लभतरं लोके जन्म यदीदृशम्
अथवा योगिनामेव कुले भवति धीमताम् एतद्धि दुर्लभतरं लोके जन्म यदीदृशम्
तत्र तं बुद्धिसंयोगं लभते पौर्वदेहिकं यतते च ततो भूयः संसिद्धौ कुरु नन्दन
तत्र तं बुद्धिसंयोगं लभते पौर्वदेहिकं यतते च ततो भूयः संसिद्धौ कुरु नन्दन पूर्वाभ्यासेन तेनैव ह्रियते ह्यवशोऽपि सः जिज्ञासुरपि योगस्य शब्दब्रह्माति वर्तते
पूर्वाभ्यासेन तेनैव ह्रियते ह्यवशोऽपि सः जिज्ञासुरपि योगस्य शब्दब्रह्माति वर्तते
प्रयत्नात्यदमानस्तु योगी संशुद्ध किल्बिषः अनेकजन्म संसिद्धः ततो याति परां गतिम्
प्रयत्नाद्यतमानस्तु योगी किल्बिषः अनेकजन्म संसिद्धः ततो याति परां गतिम्
तपस्विभ्योऽधिको योगी ज्ञानिभ्योऽपि मतोऽधिकः कर्मिभ्यश्चाधिको योगी तस्माद्योगी भवार्जुन
तपस्विभ्योऽधिको योगी ज्ञानिभ्योऽपि मदोऽधिकः कर्मिभ्योश्चाधिको योगी तस्माद्योगी भवार्जुन
योगिनामपि सर्वेषां मद्गतेनान्तरात्मना श्रद्धावान् भजते यो मां समे युक्ततमो मतः
योगिनामपि सर्वेषां मद्गतेनान्तरात्मना श्रद्धावान् भजते यो मां समे युक्ततमो मतः
ॐ तत्सत् इति श्रीमद्भगवद्गीतासु उपनिषत्सु ब्रह्मविद्यायां योगशास्त्रे श्रीकृष्णार्जुनसंवादे आत्मसंयमयोगो नाम षष्ठोऽध्यायः वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम् अथ सप्तमोऽध्यायः ज्ञानविज्ञानयोगः श्रीभगवानुवाच मय्यासक्तमनाः पार्थ योगं युञ्जन्मदाश्रयः असंशयं समग्रं मां यथा ज्ञास्यसि तच्छृणु
श्रीभगवानुवाच मय्यासक्तमनाः पार्थ योगं युञ्जन्मदाश्रयः असंशयं समग्रं मां यथा ज्ञास्यसि तच्छृणु
ज्ञानं तेऽहंस विज्ञानम् इदं वक्ष्याम्यशेषतः यज्ञात्वा नेह भूयोऽन्यत् ज्ञातव्यमवशिष्यते
ज्ञानं तेऽहं सविज्ञानम् इदं वक्ष्याम्यशेषतः यज्ञात्वा नेह भूयोऽन्यत् ज्ञातव्यमवशिष्यते
मनुष्याणां सहस्रेषु कश्चिद्यतति सिद्धये यततामपि सिद्धानां कश्चिन्मां वेत्ति तत्त्वतः
मनुष्याणां सहस्रेषु कश्चिद्यतति सिद्धये यततामपि सिद्धानां कश्चिन्मां वेत्ति तत्त्वतः
भूमिरापो नलो वायुः खं मनो बुद्धिरेव च अहङ्कार इतीयं मे भिन्ना प्रकृतिरष्टधा
भूमिरापो नलो वायुः खं मनो बुद्धिरेव च अहङ्कार इतीयं मे भिन्ना प्रकृतिरष्टधा
अपरेयमितस्त्वन्यां प्रकृतिं विद्धि मे परां जीवभूतां महाबाहो ययेदन्धार्यते जगत्
अपरेयमितस्त्वन्यां प्रकृतिं विद्धि मे परां जीवभूतां महाबाहो ययेदं धार्यते जगत्
एतद्योनीनि भूतानि सर्वाणीत्युपधारय अहं कृत्स्नस्य जगतः प्रभवः प्रलयस्तथा
एतद्योनीनि भूतानि सर्वाणीत्युपधारय अहं कृत्स्नस्य जगतः प्रभवः प्रलयस्तथा
मत्तः परतरं नान्यत् किञ्चिदस्ति धनञ्जय मयि सर्वमिदं प्रोतं सूत्रे मणिगणा इव
मत्तः परतरं नान्यत् किञ्चिदस्ति धनञ्जय मयि सर्वमिदं प्रोतं सूत्रे मणिगणा इव
रसोऽहमप्सु कौन्तेय प्रभास्मि शशिसूर्ययोः प्रणवः सर्ववेदेषु शब्दः खे पौरुषं नृषु
रसोऽहमप्सु कौन्तेय प्रभास्मि शशिसूर्ययोः प्रणवः सर्ववेदेषु शब्दः खे पौरुषं नृषु
पुण्यो गन्धः पृथिव्यां च तेजश्चास्मि विभावसौ जीवनौ सर्वभूतेषु तपश्चास्मि तपस्विषु
पुण्यो गन्धः पृथिव्यां च तेजश्चास्मि विभावसौ जीवनं सर्वभूतेषु तपश्चास्मि तपस्विषु
बीजं मां सर्वभूतानां विद्धि पार्थ सनातनं बुद्धिर्बुद्धिमतामस्मि तेजस्तेजस्विनामहम्
बीजं मां सर्वभूतानां विद्धि पार्थ सनातनं बुद्धिर्बुद्धिमतामस्मि तेजस्तेजस्विनामहम्
बलं बलवतां चाहं कामरागविवर्जितं धर्माविरुद्धो भूतेषु कामोऽस्मि भरतर्षभ
बलं बलवतां चाहं कामरागविवर्जितं धर्माविरुद्धो भूतेषु कामोऽस्मि भरतर्षभ
ये चैव सात्विका भावाः राजसास्तामसाश्च ये मत्त एवेति तान् विद्धि न त्वहं तेषु ते मयि
ये चैव सात्विका भावाः राजसास्तामसाश्च ये मत्त एवेति तान् विद्धि न त्वहं तेषु ते मयि त्रिभिर्गुणमयैर्भावैः येभिः सर्वमिदं जगत् मोहितं नाभिजानाति मामेभ्यः परमव्ययम्
त्रिभिर्गुणमयैर्भावैः येभिः सर्वमिदं जगत् मोहितं नाभिजानाति मामेभ्यः परमव्ययम्
दैवी ह्येषा गुणमयी मम माया दुरत्यया मामेव ये प्रपद्यन्ते मायामेतां तरन्ति ते
दैवी ह्येषा गुणमयी मम माया दुरत्यया मामेव ये प्रपद्यन्ते मायामेतां तरन्ति ते
न मां दुष्कृतिनो मूढाः प्रपद्यन्ते नराधमाः माययापहृतज्ञानाः आसुरं भावमाश्रिताः
न मां दुष्कृतिनो मूढाः प्रपद्यन्ते नराधमाः माययापहृतज्ञानाः आसुरं भावमाश्रिताः
चतुर्विधा भजन्ते मां जनाः सुकृतिनोऽर्जुन आर्तो जिज्ञासुरर्थार्थी ज्ञानी च भरतर्षभ
चतुर्विधा भजन्ते मां जनाः सुकृतिनोऽर्जुन आर्तो जिज्ञासुरर्थार्थी ज्ञानी च भरतर्षभ
तेषां ज्ञानी नित्ययुक्तः एकभक्तिर्विशिष्यते प्रियो हि ज्ञानिनोत्यर्थम् अहं स च मम प्रियः
तेषां ज्ञानी नित्ययुक्तः एकभक्तिर्विशिष्यते प्रियो हि ज्ञानिनोत्यर्थम् अहं स च मम प्रियः
उदाराः सर्व एवैते ज्ञानी त्वात्मैव मे मतम् आस्थितः स हि युक्तात्मा मामेवानुत्तमां गतिम्
उदारा सर्व एवैते ज्ञानी त्वात्मैव मे मतम् आस्थितः स हि युक्तात्मा मामेवानुत्तमां गतिम्
बहूनां जन्मनामन्ते ज्ञानवान् मां प्रपद्यते वासुदेवः सर्वमिति समहात्मा सुदुर्लभः
बहूनां जन्मनामन्ते ज्ञानवान् मां प्रपद्यते वासुदेवः सर्वमिति स महात्मा सुदुर्लभः
कामैस्तैस्तैर्हृतज्ञानाः प्रपद्यन्तेऽन्यदेवताः तं तं नियममास्थाय प्रकृत्या नियता स्वया
कामैस्तैस्तैर्हृतज्ञानाः प्रपद्यन्तेऽन्यदेवताः तं तं नियममास्थाय प्रकृत्या नियता स्वया
यो यो यां यां तनुं भक्तः श्रद्धयार्चितुमिच्छति तस्य तस्याचलां श्रद्धां तामेव विदधाम्यहम्
यो यो यां तनुं भक्तः श्रद्धयार्चितुमिच्छति तस्य तस्याचलां श्रद्धां तामेव विदधाम्यहम्
ततया श्रद्धया युक्तः तस्याराधनमीहते लभते च ततः कामान् मयैव विहितान् हितान्
ततया श्रद्धया युक्तः तस्याराधनमीहते लभते च ततः कामान् मयैव विहितान् हितान्
अन्तवत्तु फलं तेषां तद्भवत्यल्पमेधसां देवान् देवयजो यान्ति मद्भक्ता यान्ति मामपि
अन्तवत्तु फलं तेषां तद्भवत्यल्पमेधसां देवान् देवयजो यान्ति मद्भक्ता यान्ति मामपि
अव्यक्तं व्यक्तिमापन्नं मन्यन्ते मामबुद्धयः परं भावमजानन्तः ममाव्ययमनुत्तमम्
अव्यक्तं व्यक्तिमापन्नं मन्यन्ते माम बुद्धयः परं भावमजानन्तः ममाव्ययमनुत्तमम्
नाहं प्रकाशः सर्वस्य योगमाया समावृतः मूढोऽयं नाभिजानाति लोको मामजमव्ययम्
नाहं प्रकाशः सर्वस्य योगमाया समावृतः मूढोऽयं नाभिजानाति लोको मामजमव्ययम्
वेदाहं समतीतानि वर्तमानानि चार्जुन भविष्यानि च भूतानि मां तु वेद न कश्चन
वेदाहं समतीतानि वर्तमानानि चार्जुन भविष्याणि च भूतानि मां तु वेद न कश्चन
इच्छा द्वेषसमुत्थेन द्वन्द्वमोहेन भारत सर्वभूतानि सम्मोहं सर्गे यान्ति परन्तप
इच्छा द्वेषः समुत्थेन द्वन्द्वमोहेन भारत सर्वभूतानि सम्मोहं सर्गे यान्ति परन्तप
येषां त्वन्तगतं पापं जनानां पुण्यकर्मणां ते द्वन्द्वमोहनिर्मुक्ताः भजन्ते मां दृढव्रताः
येषां त्वन्तगतं पापं जनानां पुण्यकर्मणां ते द्वन्द्वमोहनिर्मुक्ताः भजन्ते मां दृढव्रताः
जरामरणमोक्षाय मामाश्रित्य यतन्ति ये ते ब्रह्म तद्विद्धु कृत्स्नम् अध्यात्मं कर्म चाखिलम्
जरामरणमोक्षाय मामाश्रित्य यतन्ति ये ते ब्रह्म तद्विदुः कृत्स्नम् अध्यात्मं कर्म चाखिलम्
साधिभूताधिदैवं मां साधियज्ञं च ये विदुः प्रयाणकालेऽपि च मां ते विधिर्युक्तचेतसः
साधिभूताधिदैवं मां साधियज्ञं च ये विदुः प्रयाणकालेऽपि च मां ते विदुर्युक्तचेतसः ॐ तत्सत् इति श्रीमद्भगवद्गीतासु उपनिषत्सु ब्रह्मविद्यायां योगशास्त्रे श्रीकृष्णार्जुनसंवादे ज्ञानविज्ञानयोगो नाम सप्तमोऽध्यायः।
Hari Om. That is a fantastic effort. Our lead chanters have done a fabulous job of chanting the full 106 verses, and we have just taken about 45-50 minutes. So that is fantastic, and without any mistakes, and without with full diction and full quality of pronunciation. Excellent, beautifully done, lead chanters. And one small comment about the meanings which are given in the earlier slides. Basically, the SC stands. It's actually taken from various great masters and interpreters of the Bhagavad Gita, like Swami Chinmayananda Ji, Swami Dayananda Ji, Swami Gambhirananda Ji, George Feuerstein, Veereshwarananda Ji, Ekanadishwaran, Dr. Radhakrishnan, Swami Rama, and Yuan Maskaro. As you can see, some of them are Westerners, some of them are great masters, great Swamijis from Indian tradition, and also modern scholars like Dr. Radhakrishnan and Ekanadishwaran. So it gives a wide variety of interpretations of the Bhagavad Gita itself. So now we move over to the Devi Gita Mahatmyam. This will be done by Vinodini ji.
अथ गीता माहात्म्यं गीताशास्त्रमिदं पुण्यं यः पठेत् प्रयतः पुमान् विष्णोः पदमवाप्नोति भयशोकादिवर्जितः गीताध्ययनशीलस्य प्राणायामपरस्य च नैव सन्ति हि पापानि पूर्वजन्मकृतानि च मलनिर्मोचनं पुंसां जलस्नानं दिने दिने सकृद्गीतं भसि स्नानं संसारमलनाशनं गीता सुगीता कर्तव्या किमन्यैः शास्त्रविस्तरैः या स्वयं पद्मनाभस्य मुखपद्माविनिसृता भारतामृतसर्वस्वं विष्णोर्वक्त्राद्विनिसृतं गीता गंगोदकं पीत्वा पुनर्जन्म न विद्यते सर्वोपनिषदो गावः दोग्धा गोपालनन्दनः पार्थो वत्सः सुधीर्भोक्ता दुग्धं गीतामृतं महत् एकं शास्त्रं देवकी पुत्रगीतम् एको देवो देवकी पुत्र एव एको मन्त्रस्तस्य नामानि यानि कर्माप्येकं तस्य देवस्य सेवा वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम्.
Thank you so much, Vinodini. Let me just spotlight all the chanters for today. Let's start with Vinodini. So this Vinodini, want to say anything? So that everybody
Namaste. Thank you very much for the opportunity, KKG.
Let's go to the who else? Rajita ji.
Hari Om everyone. Thank you.
Then we have who else is there? Sindhu ji.
Hari Om.
Hari Om. Thank you, Sindhu ji. Then Padmini ji, of course, our.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Padmini ji. Then Ashutosh ji, the only male chanter.
Hari Om. Hari Om. Thank you.
Thank you, Ashutosh ji. Anybody else is there? I think Lata ji, are you can you enable a video so that you know? Oh, I think her video is off, so I'm not spotlighting her. So if she comes back on, we will spotlight her later. So now we have we will move over to our next segment, which is the Jnana Yajna part of this Satsanga. And today we have, of course, Raviji, one of the brilliant speakers of on Vedanta as well as Bhagavad Gita from Singapore. I think one of Singapore's best speakers that I know. So we are very fortunate to have you. Let us meet a spotlight. Yeah, okay, I spotlighted Raviji also. So, so Raviji today will speak on chapters 5, 6, and 7. So without much ado, let's get started, Raviji.
Namaskar, thank you very much. I hope everybody is able to hear me.
Yeah, very clear.
Let me do one small invoking prayer and then comments. Om Sadashiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. Om Pranams to the lotus feet of the Lord, pranams to all the Mahatmas and Gurujis, pranams to all of you. Thank you for giving me a wonderful opportunity. That too, we have got a Guru Purnima tomorrow, and it cannot be any better day. So again, an opportunity to sing the glory of Lord's song, Bhagavad Gita. Let me first quickly recap the first 4 chapters summary and then move into 5th chapter. The first chapter, as you know, is Arjuna Vishada Yogam, where Arjuna was confused after coming to the battlefield. He was very clear before coming to the battlefield, and after coming there, and when Krishna in a vantage point positioned Bhishma and Drona in front of him, their chariots, he got confused. If you go back to the first chapter, he uses the word Durbuddhehe in the 23rd shloka, and that shows the clarity he had. And within 4 shlokas, he was confused. He says, Siddhanti Mamagatrani. So that is the kind of a emotional outburst a person changes. And then he puts the bow and arrow down. And then finally, luckily for our benefit, and in the 2nd chapter beginning, he says, Shadimam Tvam Prapannam. He says, I'm confused. I do not know what is right and what is wrong. And he got confused. And then Bhagavan, with a smile, that the smile is a beautiful word actually, which our Anna, Krishna Premi Anna, used to explain it in a multiple ways. And and then he started the teaching from the 11th shloka, Panditaha na Anushochanti. And the 2nd chapter gives the entire condensation of the entire, not only Gita, entire Vedanta is condensed in the 2nd chapter, titled as Sankhya Yoga. And then with Arjuna's question in the beginning of the third chapter, where he is asking a question, then Bhagavan explains the Karma Yoga in the third chapter. And the fourth chapter, he explains the Jnana Yoga. In the fourth chapter, Lord Krishna talked about knowledge and renunciation. And he referred to the wise man as one whose karmas are burned by the fire of knowledge. He glorified the wise man as the one who is free from possessions, whose only activity is the maintenance of the body, and who is happy with anything that comes due to prarabdha karma. Evidently, these are the signs of a monk. At the same time, Shri Krishna concludes the chapter by advising Arjuna to take action. If you go to the 42nd shloka, Tasmat Ajnana Sambhutam Kristam Jnanashi Natmanah Chitvainam Samshayam Yogam Atishto Tishta Bharata. Atishta Uttishta Bharata. So he said, resort to Karma Yoga. After talking about Jnana Yoga, he said, resort to Karma Yoga. So Arjuna is not able to reconcile Krishna's various statements. The same thing happened in the beginning of the third chapter also. At the end of second chapter, he was confused because Krishna glorifies Jnanam, and you saw the Sthita Pragya Lakshana, but he was asking Arjuna to fight. So he was confused and asking in the third chapter beginning, and he is putting the same question in a different form in the beginning of the fifth chapter. In fact, secluded life and active lives are only two lifestyles. And this is first called Ashrama Sannyasa, Sankhya in this chapter. And later it is called Karma Yoga. That is, I'm now coming to the fifth chapter. So in both the lifestyles, one is identified with the equipments. He is a Karta and he is a Samsari. This shows that lifestyle itself cannot give liberation. When self-knowledge is gained, one discovers that he is Akarta, Abhokta, and hence Asamsari. Thus, renunciation of body identification is true sannyasa, which is called Jnana Karma Sannyasa. This sannyasa can coexist with active life because it is mental renunciation. But ashrama sannyasa cannot coexist with active life because it is a physical renunciation. So Krishna is advising Arjuna to remain in the society and attain the goal of Jnana Karma Sannyasa. But Arjuna makes the sannyasa as ashrama sannyasa and sees contradiction in Krishna's teaching. In fact, many people have got this confusion. Not only Arjuna, even many people think the moment we say we are getting to Bhagavad Gita, have you become a Samyar? This is a standard question people are confused that you can be a Grihastha Jnani. In fact, earlier itself in the third chapter, he said, Karmanevai samsiddhim astita janaka deha. Janaka, Yagyavalkya, Ashwapati, they are all great jnanis and they are all Mahagrihasthas. You go to Upanishad, you can see many stories and Mahagrihasthas are jnanis. So Arjuna is always in an escapist mood from the war, want to go out, and he thinks jnana means one has to get to Akar rope. This is the confusion, and this confusion is brilliantly clarified by Bhagavan in the first 6 slokas of the 5th chapter. Very important portion. Often people are confused for which the answer is coming here. And only caution is this first section of the 5th chapter, one should read it as ashramas, not a Sankhya or Karma Yoga, because that is a mistake you will be making it. Because Sankhya refers to ashrama of sannyasa. Similarly, yoga refers to the Karma Yoga refers to the lifestyle of Grihastha ashrama. If you take a literal meaning of this 5th chapter beginning, you will be confused. That means what? You will end up saying that Jnana Yoga also will give me liberation, Karma Yoga also will give me liberation. That should not be taken. You have to be very cautious about this. So this 5th chapter begins with Arjuna's doubt as to how a person can remain in duty and free from actions at the same time. And Krishna introduces 2 lifestyles once again, as discussed in the 3rd chapter. There he said, Lokesmin Dvida Nishta, and says either lifestyle can help a person in getting moksha. Okay, moksha is through knowledge only. So ashrama doesn't matter for moksha. That one has to be very clear. What is necessary is both lifestyle is relative freedom from raga and dvesha, now, which is an important condition for self-knowledge. Of these 2, Krishna recommends active life as an ideal for a common man. Bhagavad Gita is targeted for a common man. You have to understand. For a beginner, Bhagavad Gita is the best text. Often people end up opening an Upanishad and getting confused completely. No, one should study Tattva Bodha and Bhagavad Gita and few allied texts before you go to Upanishads. Because there, ashrama sannyasa is very much glorified. You will be confused. So Krishna clarifies very clearly, ashrama doesn't matter at all. Lifestyle, both varna and ashrama doesn't matter for moksha. Moksha is only through jnanam. This one has to clearly understand. And of these two, Krishna recommends active lifestyle as an ideal for a common person. Because Gita is addressed to a common man like us. As the Lord himself points out, a secluded life is very difficult to pursue without maturity. Not everybody can do it. So here we can take it. It says, and he has given a beautiful definition of what is the sannyasam, which is a shloka number 3. Nyayasya nitya sannyasi yona dvaishtina kankshati nirdvandvo hi mahabaho sukham bandhat pramuchyate. And then he also clarifies very clearly in the 4th shloka of the 5th chapter, whatever the benefit you get it in sannyasa ashrama, the same benefit you can get it here also. Yat sangyam prapyate sthanam tatyoge rabigamyate. It is 5th shloka, by the way. Now, ekam sankyam cha yogam cha yaf paschati is the paschati. In the 4th shloka, he criticizes those who are differentiating between the two of them. He is criticizing Sankhya Yoga Pratak Bala. That he is criticizing it. So here in the first 6 shlokas, he clearly makes it. And also the 6th shloka is very beautifully further. He is making it clear. Sannyasas tu mahabaho dukkham aptum ayogataha. It is extremely difficult to take sannyasa ashrama. Not everybody is ready. More so for Arjuna. And we are all representing Arjuna. At least I am representing Arjuna. The sense of confusion, I am not going to take ashrama sannyasa. But we will be in this janma. We will be in this grahastha ashrama. We can very well get it. And then we can very well get the knowledge and have the moksha. That's a very important point. Now moving on to the next section. In the next 6 shlokas, from 7 to 12, Lord talks about the karma yoga and the stages of progress. A karma yogi dedicates all his physical and mental actions to the Lord without concern for the result. Because of this attitude, results do not cause any reactions in the mind. Gradually, he develops self-control and ultimately discovers his true nature, which is the same in all beings. And of course, this can be accomplished only through the teaching of a guru alone. This is called jnana karma sannyasa. And very important here point is, one should have the complete clarity around the karma yoga. At the end of the Gita, whatever people have taken away, ultimately one particular aspect one should be having a clarity. If you don't understand anything in Gita, it is fine. At least one should have a complete clarity about karma yoga. Bhagavan repeats karma yoga in many places. In the 12th chapter also he brings it. Again he brings it in the 18th chapter. He winding up that again he brings it and puts it in different ways. But the point here is karma yoga is starting with Ishvara Prasada Buddhi, then Ishvara Arpana Bhavana, and finally Panchamaha Yajna. 3 steps, 1A, 1B, 1C. 1A is Ishvara Prasada Buddhi. To begin with, you may be even Sakama Karmi, but get the Ishvara Prasada. Accept everything as a Ishvara Prasada. And second stage of progress is 1B is Ishvara Arpana Bhava. Whatever is there, they offer everything to the Lord. And the third step is life of contributions. Make everything as a life of contributions, Panchamaha Yajna, which was discussed in the 3rd chapter. I don't want to repeat, but one should have the very clear understanding. And he says, here very important point is the 12th shloka, first line. Yikta karma palam tyaktva shanti maapnoti naishtiking. Very clear. You will have a relative peace. In fact, you will get more peace by karma yoga itself. You don't need jnanam itself for having a mental balance and emotional liberation. In fact, vairagyam will come by karma yoga. It gets reinforced by the jnana yoga. So karma yoga itself will give. So that's why he said, Brahmanyadaya karmani sangam tyaktva karotiyah. The 10, 11 and 12 is the karma yoga portion. The previously he gives you the jnana yoga from 8 and 9. And 7th shloka gives you all the steps. which is Karma Yoga, Upasana Yoga, Jnana Yoga. That's what it is. Then go into the shloka number 13 to 21. This is the key sections of this fifth chapter, which is Krishna discusses the characteristics of a wise man and his wisdom. Since he has discovered his identity with pure self, his nature is the same as that of self, and his presence, and in his presence all the organs functions. Neither does he act nor does he instigate to anyone. According to their nature, the organs act and the reap results. He is beyond good and evil results. Still, because of the ignorance, one is deluded. When self-ignorance is destroyed by self-knowledge, Brahman, which is true nature, becomes evident. Being spontaneously established in Brahman through the pursuit of Shravanam, Mananam, and Nididhyasanam, these wise men revel. Wise man means wise person, okay? Revel only in Brahman. Thus, freed from all impurities, they attain Videha Mukti, from where there is no return. So they recognize the one homogeneous awareness existence which is beyond all beings as their substratum. Thus, having discovered the identity with the defectless, ever unaffected Brahman, they overcome mortality here itself. Yaiva tairjita sarga. That's what he overcomes the mortality. Though prarabdha brings favorable and unfavorable situations, these spontaneous delusion-free wise men are neither elated nor depressed. Detached from the world and established in Brahman, they enjoy infinite ananda. And here again, what you can say is, it is the features of a jnani. So here we have seen the features of a jnani in the second chapter, Sthita Pragya Lakshana. Later in the 12th chapter, Parabhakta Lakshana. 14th chapter, Gunatita Lakshana. And he is giving the features of a jnani again, how the jnani will look at it. Sarvatra Samadarshana, which comes again in the 6th chapter also. Because once you see Atma in everyone, you see everything the same. So I will pick up a couple of good slokas. I mean, all the slokas are jewel actually in this particular chapter. But the 17th shloka gives you the stages. Tad buddhayas tadatmanaha tannishta tatparayanaha. Tatparayanaha means goal. For tad buddhaya tadatmanaha tannishta refers to Shravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasanam. Then you will remove all the problems. Okay, Ajnanam, Samshayam, and Viparita Bhavana Nivritti is given in the second line of the 17th shloka. And of course, famous shloka is Vidya Vinaya Sampanne, which is the Samasdarshanaha. That is very good. And the person will be very stable. 20th and 21st shloka give you the Sthirapagya Lakshanani. You can go back to the second chapter, add it to those shlokas, which is 55, 56, 57, and 60, 70, 71, 72. 6 shlokas on Sthita Pragyam. And that one, along with this, these shlokas can be added. That's what it is. And then he goes in the next 2 verses, this 22 and 23, that the qualification of Vairagyam is stressed. Vairagyam is a very important step. Unless a seeker gets detached from sensual pleasures, he cannot attain infinite ananda. A discriminative seeker who knows the impermanence of these contact-born pleasures will not indulge in them. And one who can restrain the impulse of karma, impulse of kama, the desire, and krodha, anger, alone is a man of self-control to fit to enjoy life. So again, the hegisham sparshaja bhogaha dukkha yoneya yevate adhyanta vantak kauteya nateshu ramate buddha. An intelligent person will never put the bet on the world. The world is not giving even an iota of happiness. For many people, it's a mind-boggling thing which they cannot comprehend. And you can give, for this one shloka, you can speak for 4 hours. Okay, you can have a dog example, how the dog dry bone example and all we know. But this is a summary, so I have to skip all those things. My impulse tempts me to say so many things, but I am restraining myself. And then he said, Shaknodi haivayasodam praksharira vimokshanat kama krodod bhavam vegam. Shankaracharya gives a beautiful commentary for this. It's a lifelong project. Kama krodha elimination, it can never eliminate fully. You can reduce it drastically. And kamas, what do you do? When you say vairagyam, convert all the, because the Vairagyam as a word has to be understood very clearly, often confused. Vairagyam is not about giving up something and becoming a monk. Vairagyam is, as my Guru Swami Paramarthananda puts it, converting necessities to preferences is Vairagyam. So, which is very clearly understood, and it's a lifelong project. That's what he says. Then in 24 to 26, he talks about the Videha Mukti. The word Brahma Nirvanam refers to Videha Mukti. So, Jivan Muktas who revel in themselves, who are pure-minded, who love all beings, who have doubtless knowledge of Atma, attains oneness with Brahman, which is called Videha Mukti at the fall of the body. And having clarified Arjuna's doubt, Krishna gives a brief reference to meditation in the last 3 shlokas, which will be discussed elaborately in the next chapter, which is Nididhyasanam. So, though doubtless knowledge can be attained by Shravanam and Mananam, the habitual notion that I am the body does not allow knowledge to manifest as joy. Hence, one has to assimilate this teaching by dwelling upon the knowledge which is called Nididhyasana. And here, one of the subtle points not mentioned in Gita, but it is coming in the advanced text. If you have got the sadhana chatushtayam very close to perfection, like 99 percentile, like, what happens is, then you do not need even mananam nididhyasanam also. Shravana matrena moksha, which is not mentioned here. I don't want to confuse some of our Swamiji's language junior students, but understand, we are all going through a backdoor entry. That means what? We are all with some kind of a punya papam, which was, she standard in the 7th chapter, Yesham Dvantakatam papam, Jananam punya karmanam. We all have the prarabdha, a good prarabdha as rectified. We are in this path today. In fact, I should personally thank Singapore for this, which is what transformed my life completely. I'm not enamored by the lifestyle, material lifestyle here. But what is thing is, it has completely changed my life, especially the Gita forum, where the competition came, it changed my lifestyle completely. So the main thing is what I want to say is, if your sadhana chaushtayam is very good, you don't need mananam and nididhyasanam at all. But we are doing a backdoor entry in the sense, we are having some amount of sadhana chaushtayam, vivekam, vairagyam, samadhi, shashka, sampati, etc. So we have to strengthen it further. And what happens is, after first round of Gita, second round of Gita, afterwards, it is all about Nididhyasanam only. You don't need to go to any other text other than Gita itself. So what happens is, the Nididhyasanam is more required for Grihasthas than a Sannyasa Jnani. We are all Grihastha Jnani. For the Jnanam to become Jnana Nishta, we require Nididhyasanam. So that is very important. And that's why the Lord concludes the 5th chapter, having removed all the thoughts of sense objects, having withdrawn the sense organs, having regulated the breathing, freed from desire, fear, and anger, one should meditate with the desire for moksha. Such a yogi meditator becomes liberated forever. This is 27-28. And in the 29th shloka, he concludes saying, knowing the Lord who is the receiver of all sacrifices, which is the supreme Lord of all the worlds, and who is the friend of all beings, the wise man attains peace. With this, the 5th chapter is concluded, and it is the seed for the 6th chapter. Now we will go to the 6th chapter and then do the summary of the 6th chapter. And as per our Swamiji, 6th chapter is the Atma Samyama Yoga or Dhyana Yoga. Nowhere the Dhyana Yoga is structured so elaborately like Bhagavad Gita, 6th chapter. And a couple of points I'll tell you before I go into dwell on this, the summary. The first thing is, Nididhyasanam is nothing but taking the knowledge which is in the superficial mind and put it in the subconscious mind to remove the viparita bhavana. I already know Aham Brahmasmi, Aham the Brahman, Atman I know. I need to put it on a subconscious mind, for which a repeated Shravanam is required. So the Nididhyasanam can be 2 processes. One is a formal process, I call it. Another one is an informal process. And formal process is what is described in Bhagavad Gita. Informal process, Acharya explains in Viveka Chudamani very clearly also. Formal process, I'm going to explain. What is informal Nididhyasanam process? What we are doing is a nididhyasana. That means repeated listening, repeated lecturing. Catch hold of 10 students. That's what I am trying to do. Whether others listen or not, I catch hold of people. That's why I do marketing of Gita. I've got one slide, which is one pager written, Word document available, how to market Gita. So anybody is interested, I'm willing to share it. So why? I am very selfish because I want to repeatedly study. I will not sit down and study. So informal nididhyasana is repeated listening, repeated discussion among ourselves and listening to it like this, any form, and then also having an alert living. So alert living with repeated touch with the scripture is an informal nididhyasanam process. And if this is not working out, or if it is working out partially, still you find some defect, which is you are not able to overcome. For example, I get angry very often, even though I got the knowledge. Sometimes the vipariyuddha bhavana, it doesn't go very easily. It takes a lot of time. So when I want to do that, at that time what I do? I go to specific meditation, how to overcome anger. So this formal meditation can be used. I am not comfortable formally, actually speaking. I'm not good at it. But informal process, I'm very happy. But wherever, and alert living, I try to do. And I try to analyze myself where my defect is. But formal process is very useful for specifically targeting where the defect is. For some people like the formal process, which is based on the Patanjali Maharishi's Ashtanga Yoga. The Ashtanga Yoga, you have taken this. In this, there are 3 steps, the last 3 steps, Dharana, Dhyana, Samadhi. That is what is being taken by Bhagavan here and explained here. So with this introduction, let me go into the summary of this particular chapter. So Lord Krishna introduced the topic of meditation towards the end of the last chapter. And being an important topic, Krishna spends almost the whole of this chapter dealing with the meditation. As I told you, nowhere you will see such a detailed meditation process, very beautifully, fairly structured well, nowhere you will see. Here meditation is upon the Lord as the very self Atma of the meditator. Swami Dayananda used to say meditation upon the meditator himself. That's what he used to say. So this is meant to assimilate the self-knowledge gained from Guru's teaching. The conditioning that I am the body will go only with the assimilation of self-knowledge. Assimilated self-knowledge alone can express as Ananda. This morning I was talking, we are doing the Viveka Chudamani, Shloka number 428, which is exactly talking about the same thing. I don't want to dwell upon it. That's exactly we talked about it. So where the Ananda, which is my Swarupam, manifests in my mind, and when my mind is calm, that mind feels is very happy. Mind is not happy because of the outside objects. The mind is happy because when the mind is quiet, then the original Swarupam reflects in the mind more clearly. Like if the water is still, you are able to see the face. If the water is shaking, you will not be able to see the face. Like this, when the mind is still, you are able to experience your own Swarupam in your mind. That is what is the experienced Ananda. Whereas my nature is Ananda Swarupam. That one has to be very clear about. And Krishna talks about 5 important topics on meditation. They are Bahiranga Sadhana, those disciplines to be followed throughout our daily life, which influences one's meditation. The second one is Antaranga Sadhana, those disciplines to be followed immediately before meditation. Third one is Dhyana Swarupam, nature of meditation. Fourth one is Dhyana Phalam, result of meditation. Then fifth topic is Dhyana Pratibandha Pariharo, obstacles and remedy. Now let us go into the first one, which is Bahiranga Sadhana. See, Bahiranga Sadhana is from Shloka number 1 to 9 and 16 and 17. Lord immediately emphasized Karma Yoga in the beginning itself with the Anashita Karma Phala. So he indicates the role of Karma Yoga meditation by praising the Karma Yogi. Karma Yoga being a conscious way of life, helping one in getting self-control, Samatva Bhavam, Samatvam Yoga Uchate. It converts an extroverted mind into a contemplative mind. Once this is achieved, one should try to lead a quieter life because active life becomes an obstacle to meditation. So total detachment is the characteristics of a contemplative mind. Again, you should not get confused. because we are all active people in our respective society. But we need to once in a while withdraw. That is why weekend is given. Weekend is not for just going and then kaavo pivo maja karo nahi hai. The weekend is primarily for what? For contemplation only. So you can be 5 days, you can be very busy. On the 6th and 7th day, at least brush up with whatever you are supposed to study, you do it. That's what it is. So initially, Krishna highlights three important values, namely self-confidence, self-effort, self-integration. So Karma Yoga, self-confidence, self-effort, self-integrations, they are highlighted. The shloka Uddharet Atmanatmanam, Natmanam Avasadiyet is an often quoted shloka. Like Karmanyeva Adhikaraste in the 2nd chapter and Uddharet Atmanatmanam gives a very clear idea there is a free will. Because there is a fate and free will. And many people, what they say, Upar wala ka kham hai, hum kya karenge? I say nahi hai. Everything is, our life is governed by both fate and free will together. And these shlokas are pramanam for this, where the free will is very clearly there. Valluvar says, Alvinai udamai, Ukamudamai, Madiinmai. He go to Thiruvalluvam, you can study all those things. Valluvar is taking from Gita and Upanishad only and written Thirukural. So, very important that you have got the self-confidence, self-effort, and self-integration. And then Karma Yoga. These 4 virtues are given there. And in the 16th, 17th shloka, which is coming later, you have to add it here. Yuktahara Viharasya, that shloka, there it is saying about moderation in eating, moderation in sleeping, moderation in recreation, moderation in profession. So 4 plus 4, 8. This is the Bahiranga Sadhana. Then go to Antaranga Sadhana. And in Antaranga Sadhana, I'll quickly put it across. There are 8 points which is emphasized here. That is before meditation, what all the things. First one is Desha, place of meditation. Kala, time of meditation. Asanam, the seat, not too soft, too hard. And also keep your own asana, not to share with anybody else. Then Sharira Sthitihi, posture. Then pranayamya samyam. Pranayama samyam, breathing evenness. That is referred in the 5th chapter, 27th shloka, not here. And then Indriya Nigraha, sensory restraint. Mano Nigraha, mind regulation. That is called Sannyasa Bhavam. And then Buddhi Nishchaya, that means conviction and importance of meditation and the goal of meditation. This is given from shloka number 10 to 15, plus a couple of shlokas from the last portion of 5th chapter also. It is taken from there. That is the Dhyana Bhagiranga Sadhana. Then, so that is the Antaranga Sadhana. Antaranga Sadhana. Bhagiranga Sadhana is general discipline. Antaranga Sadhana is discipline to be done before commencing the meditation. Sorry, my confusion. And then from 20 to 32, Dhyana Swarupam and Dhyana Phalam is given. Dhyana Swarupam and Dhyana Phalam. Let me put it in my own simple words. Basically, Dhyana Swarupam is, nature is Dhyana, Dharana, Dharana, Dhyana, Samadhi. Dharana means you do take the object of meditation. Here in this case, Atma and Atma related thoughts. So you take the, say, Aham Brahmasmi, I am Shuddha, Nitya, Sarvagata, whatever is given in the 2nd chapter, 12 to 25. You take any of the features of Atma, and then take it as you, and then start dwelling upon it. So at that time, what happens is the mind goes away completely. So 80% the mind will go away, 20% it may remain in this. Like when you do Sandhya Vandanam, Gayatri Japam, you cannot do 10 japas properly. So it will go away and again it will come back. That is Dharana stage. In Dhyana stage, I call it as a reverse, 80-20. Most of the time it will be on the object of meditation. Sometime it will go away. Then Samadhi is, this is Savikalpaka Samadhi, where you pull everything down and then you deliberately put it across and pull it and keep it inside so that you are able to focus 100% with concentration. That's called Savikalpaka Samadhi. And that will lead to Nirvikalpaka Samadhi, where effortlessly you will be able to focus on this. Like the way a child is eating in front of watching the TV or cartoon. With whatever she eats, it doesn't know. It keeps on eating because focus is Nirvikalpa Samadhi state. We all have the feature. That is the crux of the entire thing. That is what is explained. And here the 7 features of the Nirvikalpa Samadhi is given, which is slokas number 20 to 23. Beautiful, 7 of them. First one is, so that means if a person has got that kind of a Nirvikalpa Samadhi, what is it? Chitta Uparamanam, deep mental quietude. Then Atma Darshanam, self-knowledge and vision of self. That is owning up one's own higher self, higher nature. Then Adyantika Sukham, Ananda Swarupam. So 20th shloka gives first 2, Chitta Uparamanam and Atma Darshanam. 21st shloka gives you 2 more, Adyantika Sukham, Ananda Swarupam, Tattva Nishta, stay put or abiding it by nature. Then 22nd shloka gives you 2 more, Adyantika Labha, greatest accomplishment, and Adyantika Dukkha Nivrittihi, freedom from all forms of sorrows. And 23rd shloka talks about the Dukkha Samyoga Viyogam, negation of the imaginary sorrow. All the sorrows, anxiety, fear, everything is actually imaginary. Because Brahma Satyam Jagat is Nitya. And this is unique to Advaitam. And everything is Nitya. So, Panditaha na Anushojanti. So, this is all imaginary sorrow. That is what is going away. And in terms of benefits, which is given from 28 to 32, now, Atma in all beings and all beings in Atma, same vision everywhere. And 30th shloka, I am not lost in him, he is not lost to me. And 31st shloka, abiding in him, in me, even though abiding in the thought of Atma, even though engaged in every activity. It is like a Tambura Shruti. You are engaged in every activity, but Tambura Shruti is always there. Like in football, you play, but you know where the goal post is. In cricket, whatever be the thing, when the ball comes at 130 kilometers an hour, you are able to exactly work on it. So that kind of a concentration. So whatever it is, you are able to get it. That's what it is. And the 32nd shloka talks about the empathy factor. That's what it talks about it, the empathy. And then in the the 33 to 36, Dhyana Pratibandha and Parihara. Pratibandham and Parihara. What does it mean? Pratibandham is the obstacles to the one. And beautiful shloka, Chanchalam hi Manakrishna Pramati Bhalavati Dridam. So it is fickle, turbulent, powerful form. And what to do? And Bhagavan says, Abhyasam and Vairagyam. Abhyasena the Kaunteya, Vairagyena Chagrihyate. No other choice. In fact, Mandukya Upanishad, Mandukya Karika, Gaudapadacharya talked about the other things also. No, Kashayam and all those things. Here he is talking about the Chanchalam hi Manakrishna, only one of the obstacles he is talking about it. So what is the crux? Vairagyam and Abhyasam. That means what? We must be in touch with the scripture throughout our life. Otherwise, you will be fish out of water. Fish which is going out of water will happen within a minute, it will die. The moment you are all Grihastha Sannyasi, but don't take it forever, granted that I'm going to be, our Nididhyasanam has to be done lifelong. So understand, that is what I feel. That's what I am going to do. That's where I am in. So that's my way of looking at it. That's what I have understood. So I'll continue to do Nididhyasanam by what? Repeat, either formal or informal. But obstacles, if anything is there, Abhyasam, Vairagyam, beautiful solution given by Lord Krishna. And then the Yoga Brashta topic is an additional topic because Arjuna is very, very negative fellow. And he was always not confident. Now, with all the teaching, we are fortunately better than Arjuna. But Arjuna was in front of the battlefield. But we are all actually in the air-conditioned room listening to Gita. So we are better off. But Arjuna still had a doubt. What will happen if I fail in the examination? Like going to a CA examination, if I fail, repeatedly write it. So Bhagavan says, you will carry forward in the next Janma. So biggest advantage is, once you come into the Gita path, start studying Gita, you are guaranteed of Manushya Janma. Whereas what Upanishad says, in fact, Krishna says, Tedam Bhuktva Swargalokam Vishalam Chine Punye Martyalokam Vishanti in the 9th chapter. He is diluting it. Whereas Mundaka Upanishad says, Imam Lokam Hina Taramva Vishanti. So, you may go to inferior Janma if you are not studying scriptures. Here, even whether you understand or not, at least you start studying the scriptures, you are guaranteed of the Manushya Janma and you'll continue from where you left. That is what we are all doing. We all left somewhere in the last Janma. Some aberration of Gita has taken place. We are only continuing from last Janma. We are all yoga brashtas of the past. And even if somebody feels he is very diffident and still not getting it, at least my request is continue to get study. It will be useful for you to be born again. And our Swamiji used to say, you only should come again as an Acharya. That means the very purpose is defeated. Not that way. Somebody else will come and none of us will come. So that's what it is. So that is a Yoga Brishta topic, which is the 6th chapter is concluded. Then Bhagavan is switching the gear in the 7th chapter. He is talking to a different thing. So after having completed the first 6 chapters, Rajna, which is probably focusing on the individual nature, Jiva, Karma Yoga, and the individual effort. These are all 3 topics which is there. Now he is taking to another 3 topics, which is Ishvara Swarupam, and then Upasana and Ishvara Anugraha. These are all the 3 primary topic from the shloka, from the chapter number 7 to 12, Madhyama Shatka. Repeat. Ishvara nature of God, Ishvara Swarupam, then and Upasana Yoga, how to meditate upon the Lord, and then Ishvara Anugraha, how to tap the grace of the Lord. These are all the 3 topics. So in the first 3 shlokas, Krishna introduces the topic and its glory. That is surrendering to God. Whoever worships him along with his attributes ultimately discover the attributes of God. The knowledge of God with attributes as different from oneself is called jnanam. And the knowledge of God as identical with oneself is called vijnanam, because the title is Jnana Vijnana Yoga. Jnanam is third person knowledge of God, and vijnanam is first person knowledge of the God, aham brahmasmi. That's what it is. So the very fact that the number of people who attempt and succeed in gaining this knowledge is very, very small. Manushyanam sagasreshu kaschit yatati siddhaye yatatam abhisiddhyanam kaschin mam veti tatvatah. Like climbing the Mount Everest, so many people climb, only few people get successful. So like this, many people come and fall in between. I know a person, many people, even very so-called religious people saying, hey, Gita and all is very nice, yeah, practically not possible. It is like sitting in the fence, sitting in the side of the pool and saying it, not trying to jump into the pool and commenting about the swimming. So many people halfway give up. Then you become a jnani, nobody will tell you. But it is not boring. At least for me, it is not boring. So if you feel boring, that means you don't have the ruchi for this. That means you have got still a lot of obstacles. Prarabdham is not good enough for you to continue. So only few people succeed. Those few are who are all listening here. We are all the ones who are the successful people. That's what is important. And the 4th to 12th shloka is the crux of this chapter. Okay, Krishna talks about the nature of God. Para Prakriti, Apara Prakriti. These two, Para Prakriti. So, the higher nature and the lower nature, Apara Prakriti. The lower nature has got 8 divisions. Bhubira, Ponolo, Vayuhu, all those things. You can study that. And he says, with that only, I am sustaining the world. 5th shloka, he talks about it. And then, in fact, he says, in fact, there's no creation different from me. Namattaf paradaram nanyati kinchidasti dhananjaya. Mai sarvam idam protam sutre mani ganaiva. Important shloka. Only me, only manifesting everywhere. So, by studying the 7th chapter and 9th chapter, you must know, divinize the entire universe. This is what Sri Rudram and Vishnu Sahasranamam repeatedly say. You don't need to go to Jnana Yoga. Park it there. Come to Karma Yoga. Get the Samatva Bhava. Get Vairagyam. Start divinizing the universe. This is the crux of this chapter. That's what he says. And that's what he's saying from 8th to 12th shloka. Up to this, he's saying it. And there, one of the important shloka is, he says, any enjoyment you have got, which is not against dharma, is acceptable. It's a very important point for the Grihastha Ashrama. So what he is saying is very clear. So dharma viruddho bhuteshu kamosmi bharatarshava. Because often people think, I want to dwell upon this point. Often people think, if I am studying these things, I may become a sannyasi. In fact, some people, sorry to say that, some people think I should not sit next to my wife. And I have to be completely brahmachari. No. You do whatever you are supposed to do as a Grihastha Ashrama. You have got a responsibility for Grihastha. So dharma viruddho bhuteshu. So whatever it is, that is a very important point. Then in the 13th sloka, Lord traces the cause of all the problem. What is the reason for the samsara? And being deluded by the creation, which is the product of three gunas. Beautiful sloka, actually, this one. And where I'll take the sloka. 1 second. I just go to the sloka. Daivi Hesha Gunamayi. The Tribir Gunamayi Bhavehi, Ebi Sarva Mitam Jagat. Mohitam Nabijanati Mabebya Faramavayam. People are deluded and into the world. Like going to Sentosa Island, got lost. Like this, people are lost in the world actually. And he says, Daivi Hesha Gunamayi, Mama Maya Durataya, Mamevaye Prapadyante, Maya Metam Tarantite. You come to me, surrender to me, know me properly, study properly, you can overcome this Maya. That's what it is. And still, some people are extreme pessimists. That is what he is talking about in the 15th sloka. They are very negative people. And they say all these things are humble. And he is talking about Charvakam here. Namam Dushkrutino Mudaha Prapadyante Naradamaha Mayaya Apakrita Jnanaha Asuram Bhava Mashritaha. You can compare 7th chapter and 9th chapter. Both are parallel chapters. There are equivalent sloka in the 9th chapter also. Then he talks about the 4 types of bhakta. Artha, Artharthi, Jignasu, Jnani, Bhakta, 4 of them. Of which, now Artha, Arthaksha means, Artha Bhakta means one who wants all the gaining of things. Oh, sorry, first one is who want to get rid of problem. Arthartha Bhakti means who wants more material wealth. And Jignasu Bhakti is the one who is seeker of knowledge. Jnani Bhakti is who has understood. Bhagavan and I are one and the same. And Bhagavan says, only the one who has understood me and others are, me and the Shishya are the same. I like them the most. So he says, Tesham Jnani Nitya Uktaha Eka Bhaktir Visishyate. So, and the Priyohit Jnanino Tattam Aham Sacha Mama Priyaha. And Udara Sarva Yevaite Jnani tu Atmaiva Mematam. It is called Mahavakya Shloka, that line. So Jnaniyu, Nanu, Unnugarde, both are one and the same. That's what he is saying. And again, he says, very few people after many janmas are coming to me. That's what he says in that section. Then in the following 4 slokas from 21 to 24, what he is saying is, and he talks about the devotees who worship Lord only for material gains. And then that's what, and then they are unfortunate people. And those, and then he is, that is otherwise called Sakama Bhaktas. He is talking. And then he is talking about Nishkama Bhakta from the shloka number 27 to 30, he is talking about Nishkama Bhaktas. So 20 to 26, Sakama Bhakti, devotion for material ends, and Nishkama Bhakti for spiritual ends. And he concludes the chapter. Just to give you a summary of the sections. First, introduction of the God and glory of the knowledge, 1 to 3. Nature of God, 4 to 12. Cause of samsara, 13. And Bhakti as a remedy for samsara, 14 to 19. Sakama Bhakti, 20 to 26. Nishkama Bhakti, 27 to 30. With this, let me conclude the summary. Very rapid summary. Sorry to rush it. I have given you only 7 minutes for Q&A. Of course, I am ready to stay back. Others can even drop off, those who have got a question, if any. I am not having any credentials to answer anything, but even little bit, I will try to do it. Thank you very much again to Srinivasanji and all the team for giving me this opportunity, wonderful opportunity. Hari Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha, Krishna Arpanamastu.
Thank you so much, Raviji, for that fantastic and rapid fire session full of humor as well as jnana, condensed form of jnana. He basically covered in the beginning. They touched upon the overview of the previous chapters, chapters 1 to 4. Then he touched on chapter 5, jnana karma sannyasa yoga, and he talked about what is karma yoga and what is what's the meaning of karma yoga, Ishvara Prasad Buddhi and Ishvara Arpana Bhava and Panjamahayajna. Then he talked about Vairagya, and he says that Vairagya will come and it will come from Karma Yoga, and it has to be reinforced by Jnana Yoga. That is what Raviji was saying. Then he also talked about importance of Vairagyam and the necessity to preference, conversion of necessity to preferences. That's a very interesting observation that he has made. And he talked in the next chapter, chapter 6, he talked about various various aspects of nididhyasanam, bahiranga sadhana and antaranga sadhana, dhyana swarupam, and then dhyana bhalam and dhyana pratibandha nivaranam. So all these classification of the chapter into various aspects of meditation. And he also compared between the Ashtanga Yoga of, the final three steps of Ashtanga Yoga, angas of the Ashtanga Yoga. And he also said very interestingly that studying of Bhagavad Gita will ensure or guarantee a Manushya Janma. So that is also very interesting. And he summarized his chapter 7 with Ishvara Swarupa and Upasana Yoga and Ishvara Anugraha. And in a truly brilliant and it's I think somebody was asking in the chat, where can you get this, unless you listen to this talk many times, it will be very difficult to figure out the exact details of what Raviji was talking about. He condensed many topics into this short about 45 minutes or so. So thank you so much, Raviji, and I will recommend everybody to listen to his speech again. It's available for all times in our Facebook page as well as in the YouTube channel of Gita Jayanti, but it's being live streamed, so you can listen to it at any time in future. So all you have to do is just visit our YouTube channel or go to the Facebook channel. Okay, now let us get back to, thank you for being here. We will take up the questions once after this, the final mantras are also over, so that, people who want to stay back and ask questions. At least I have a couple of questions, so maybe we'll take up those questions later. I think even though we are a bit delayed for lunch, I think it should be good to, the spiritual feast is more important than the lunch, hopefully. Okay, let's get back to our final session, and then we get back to the question answers. So I will. So Ravi's talk is over. So we'll do the concluding mantras. This will be done by Sindhuji, and after that, okay, over to Sindhuji, please.
ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय धन्वन्तरमूर्तये अमृतकलशहस्ताय सर्वामयविनाशनाय त्रैलोक्यनाथाय महाविष्णवे स्वाहा ॐ अच्युताय नमः ॐ अनन्ताय नमः ॐ गोविन्दाय नमः ॐ अच्युताय नमः ॐ अनन्ताय नमः ॐ गोविन्दाय नमः ॐ अच्युताय नमः ॐ अनन्ताय नमः ॐ गोविन्दाय नमः वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम् कायेन वाचा मनसेन्द्रियैर्वा बुद्ध्यात्मना वा प्रकृते स्वभावात् करोमि यद्यत् सकलं परस्मै नारायणेति समर्पयामि सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् सर्वेषां स्वस्तिर्भवतु सर्वेषां शान्तिर्भवतु सर्वेषां पूर्णं भवतु सर्वेषां मङ्गलं भवतु लोकाः समस्ताः सुखिनो भवन्तु लोकाः समस्ताः सुखिनो भवन्तु लोकाः समस्ताः सुखिनो भवन्तु ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरि ओम तत्सत् श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः हरि ओम Om.
Thank you so much, Sindhuji, for that beautiful chanting of the final mantras. So we have important announcement, upcoming event of Gita Jayanti, the final, the signature event of Gita Jayanti over the year, for the whole of the calendar year, is the Gita Havan, which is happening next Sunday, which is on 28th of July, at PGP Hall ground floor. So for details, you can visit gitajayanti.org.sg. Here is a flyer of the event. So as you can see, there'll be several homakundas. I think there are about 6 or 7 homakundas, in which the whole of the Bhagavad Gita will be chanted and Ahuti will be performed for every verse of the Gita. And it starts at about 7 a.m. With Ganpati Homam and Krishna Ashotram and all that. And the actual chanting of the Gita will start around 8:30 or so. And will continue till about 11:30, and then we'll have the Abhishekam and the Aarti and all that, and we'll conclude with the Mahaprasadam. So all listeners here are welcome to join. And I also have one announcement from Hindu Center. Hindu Center is going to have tomorrow is Guru Purnima Day, also called Vyasa Jayanti. So there'll be a celebration at 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. To celebrate the Guru Purnima. So you can all visit the Hindu Center's website to register for participating in that Guru Purnima celebrations of Hindu Jayanti also, Hindu Center also. So please do feel to join. The Hindu Center, as most of you will know, it's at 132 Owen Road, and it is from the function is happening from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. So that is all. Yeah, Srinivas, you want to say anything?
Yeah, during the Havan, after the chanting is completed, there will be Purnahuti and then Abhishekam, Alankaram. During that period, Swami Samachitananda ji, President of Ramakrishna Mission, will be giving a Anugrah Vashanam. So please do come and stay on for the Anugrah Vashanam also. And then, of course, for the Mahaprasadam at the end. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. So let us. With this, we actually end today's session. So see you all at the next session, the session 5, on the third Saturday of August. That happens to be 17th of August, same time. Okay, so I will stop sharing now, and is a time for Q&A for people who are interested in asking questions to Raviji. So let me enable everybody to unmute yourself. So now all of you can unmute yourself and ask questions. So over to Raviji, please. I mean, over to anyone who has questions. Nobody is asking questions. Bad. Okay, I will ask. I'll start, Raviji. Just to get the ball rolling. See, basically, in chapter 5 and chapter 6, you are talking about the meditation, right? So the steps of meditation. So this is a very practical step. In chapter 6, he talks about Nasikagram. So basically focus on the Nasikagram as the method. And whereas in chapter 5, he talks about Pravarmakhe. So focusing on the center of the eyebrows. So but both are these both some kind of like I've read in Shankara Bhashyam that actually even though we talk about Pravarmakhe and Nasikagram, it is not really not to be taken literally. But the thing is that I have actually Vihangam Yoga, for example, they take it very literally. They actually really focus on the nose, tip of the nose, and I believe that there are a lot of people have got actually benefited also. So what is your take on this?
Okay. Our Swami Paramartha used to jokingly will say, Chinese or Japanese can never meditate if you have to focus on the nose. So the idea is it's all guidances. So it's only a guidance. Basically, it's a focus. And somebody says he is going to look at the focus, somebody will get a headache if you are going to do it. Somebody you can have a eyes half open or half closed or fully closed. The idea is you need to have a concentration. And whichever gives you the posture which is comfortable to you, you follow. That's what I have learned from my guru. So don't take it literally. Some of them are guidances only. Similarly, again, I'll give extending the same point. So you have to sit on the kushala grass and all those things. Don't go for all those things. Don't go for deer skin and other things. You cannot get it and you will be behind bars. So basically, you sit comfortably. And nowadays, many people have got arthritis problem and they cannot sit on the floor even for a few minutes. So sit in a comfortable sofa. Don't have a sofa which will make you sleep. So again, sit in the appropriate asana. So those preparation in terms of posture, sarira sthiti, everything is all about the guidance. Whatever is comfortable, you stay with that and then go for concentration.
But I just wanted to tell you that, Vihangam Yoga, for example, one of our lead organizations, they actually focus on the nose, in their meditation technique. They actually physically do it. And they say that there is a lot of benefits for the eyes even, there are some people say that they don't even need the specs for reading because of that. That's what they say. I don't know. I don't practice it, so.
But that is not the intent of Krishna here. Often we try to give the material benefits of Vedanta, which is often our family says that is not the point. It is basically you have to understand that may be a side benefit. Avantra palam. That's it.
Okay, great. Yeah. Anybody else? Anybody? Any other questions? Anybody?
When I say that it's Gita should be treated as taken as a moksha sadhanam rather than what you call lifestyle sadhanam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, if there's no questions, I have given my phone number. If anybody wants to contact me, you can always reach out. And anything you want to join any of the classes, always welcome. Of course, wherever you are doing it, please continue. You don't need to come here. As long as you are studying Gita, it is fine. That's what I would recommend. Okay. Yeah, somebody is raising the hand. What is that?
Yeah. Please ask questions. Yeah.
R.A. Please open your mic, sir.
Yeah, you have to unmute yourself. You can unmute yourself and then speak.
Mr. R.A. No. He's not able to unmute it. Yeah.
No, we can unmute because we are
not doing it. Unmute. The person is not doing it. Probably.
Yeah. Mr. R.A., can you hear us? Or if you are able to hear, you can ask the question yourself. Now I think he has unmuted. Okay, great. Please ask your question.
Hello, Radha.
Yeah.
Jai Shri Krishna.
Sir,
please ask your question. Please go ahead. Yeah, we can hear you. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, I think there is something wrong with my audio. So Krishna ji.
Rajesh. This is Rajesh. Oh, okay. Oh, great. Rajesh. This is Rajesh Anand. Okay, excellent.
No, because nobody was asking questions. I thought I'll just raise some points and request Mr. Ravi to say something about the usual conundrum that which yoga is the most ideal. For example, Sri Krishna says in the 6th chapter, superior to the ascetic, which is the tapasvi, is the yogi.
Yep.
Superior to jnani and superior to karmi is the yogi. So he is putting yogi to be superior compared to the tapasvi, the jnani and the karmi. And in the last verse of the 6th chapter, when he says yogi nam api sarvesham mad gate nantaratmana shraddhavan bhajteyo mam sate mato yukta tamo mataha. He says above all yogis is the bhakti yogi. And at the end of Bhagavad Gita also Shri Krishna is saying discard all the dharma and karma, sarva dharman parityajya mamekam sharanam braja. So coming to the Lord's lotus feet with the mood of surrender is also bhakti yoga. So is it prudent to say that bhakti yoga is so predominant that every other method, which is repeated in many places in the scriptures, takes a back seat? And as long as we are focusing on the surrender aspect, we are good to go, so to say. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Before I answer the question, you are asking is for the sake of for others, or you are asking as a serious questionnaire?
Serious question.
Serious question. Okay. Because I will take, I will have to really answer it. Those who are interested and listen, because I'll take a couple of minutes to answer this question. First part is regarding the 46th shloka, where he is glorifying a dhyana yogi. So, yoginam bin tapasvipyodyo, that shloka. Basically, dhyana yogi is in the final step of the spiritual rung or a ladder. As I told you, the Bhagavad Gita, the spiritual ladder consists of initially karma yoga, which gives you vivekam and vairagyam predominantly, and also it makes you a tivira mumukshu, and then go to the upasana yoga. It's not a watertight compartment, by the way. It's all predominant what you do. Then upasana yoga will give you samadhi shatka sampatti, and then you come to shravanam, and then the mananam and nididhyasana. And this particular chapter, which is dhyana yogi, is a nididhyasana yogi. So how many steps we talked about it? Karma yoga, upasana, shravana yogi, manana yogi, upasana yogi, nididhyasana yogi. So what he is trying to glorify is the dhyana yogi, which is the nididhyasana yogi, is closer to moksha. So he is glorifying. It doesn't mean others are inferior. Everybody has to go through all the processes. This is the first point we have to understand. This is what I have understood from the teaching which I received. So this is the first answer. The second part of the question, what you have asked about the Bhakti Yoga. And this is the most confusing thing. In fact, in Uddhava Gita, there are 4 or 5 shlokas, I think in the 15th or 16th chapter, in fact, which I have been listening to recently. There are many, many places, even in Bhagavad Gita itself, we can see that. I'll give you the reference. There are many, many places where you will see in the scriptures, it glorifies something else than the actual one, which is far superior. This is for the sake of the Manda Adhikaris. That means dull students. I will not call them as dull students, or who are in the preliminary ways of doing things. For them to understand, Gita gives you or Gita or other texts also. They give you a bit of concession and then glorify them whatever they are doing it. That doesn't mean it's the ultimate answer. You have to understand it very clearly. I'll give you a reference to the 12th chapter. Go to Gita itself. In the 12th chapter, 12th shloka. So the title itself is Bhakti Yoga. First of all, you have to understand Bhakti Yoga. Bhakti is all the yogas are Bhakti Yoga. Everything is happening in the climate of Bhakti. Karma Yoga requires Bhakti, Upasana requires Bhakti, Shravanam, Mananam, Nidhyasana. Everything requires Bhakti. So one should understand clearly, Bhakti is the atmosphere in which all the sadhanas take place. There's nothing specifically called Bhakti Yoga, because Bhakti Yoga consists of all of them, care of 12th chapter, shloka number 2 to 11, where Bhagavan gives a staircase. No, first he says, it is Bhakti is, which is the Jnana Yoga is Bhakti Yoga. If you cannot do it, it is very klesha hai, adhikatara hai. It is difficult for many. Then he go to Aneka Rupa Upasana. If that is not possible, go to Eka Rupa Upasana. If that is not possible, come to Karma Yoga, where you make a life of contributions. If that is not also possible, at least take a Prasada Buddhi. So he comes it in the reverse order. Everything is Bhakti Yoga. So there's nothing called specific, because often we are confused about our puja, our meditation on the Lord with the Sakama, this thing, we misconstrue it as a Bhakti and Bhakti Yoga. There's no such called, there's only Sakama Bhakti, Nishkama Bhakti. So the entire sadhanas happen in the climate of Bhakti. So that has to be understood, second answer. The third answer is the question you asked regarding the glorifying everything. So in the 12th shloka of the 12th chapter, Shreyohi jnanam abhyasa jnanat dhyanam visishyate. Dhyanat karma palatyagam tyagat shanti anantaram. So what does it mean? He is talking about the last step which is told in the 11th shloka, that he is glorifying here in the 12th shloka. So if somebody cannot do for example, if somebody in the maths, I want to score 100%. Okay, I only sent them, you can get the NEET or whatever, IIT or whatever it is. But I'm not able to. So if somebody is scoring 85, you will ask him to go to 100. If somebody is struggling to get pass mark, then you will motivate him to go and get a pass mark. Then somebody comes with a mark sheet. Hey, I have scored 45% in mathematics because he was about to fail. What you will do? Fantastic. On the other hand, other student will come. I scored 99. Then I'll ask you, where is that plus 1 mark? Which one is the answer is correct? Which answer is correct? So the idea is, it depending on the audience, you glorify certain things. It's called arthavada. It is called exaggeration. Arthavada. So this is done in many places. Similarly, in the Vishwarupa portion, in the Vishwarupam, the 11th chapter, 48th shloka, 11th chapter, 48th shloka. Naveda yajnat yenaina dhanaihi nachakriya bhirna tapo bhirugraihi evam rupa shakya aham riloke dushtum todanyena kuru pravira. Another confusing shloka, where again he is saying, you be with me, you don't need to do study Veda, you don't need to do dhanam, you don't need to do anything, you are comfortable. Again, it's the Arthavada shloka. Bhagavatam, in the Bhagavad Gita, there are 4 shlokas which all the Pauranikas highlight. They don't talk about what Bhagavan talked to Uddhava before and what he is talking after. And they take that bhakti, that he said, you do bhakti with me, you don't know anything else. So that is all Arthavada shloka. That is not the fact. You have to see it in totality. That is the one. And again, Sarva Dharman Parityajya Mamekam Sharanam Praja. So it's a very elaborate commentary is there. Basically, what does it mean is, you become a akarta abhokta. That's what it means in a simple answer. Because Arjuna has to fight the war. He has to perform the war immediately after the teaching. He has to fight. So he has to have the detachment to fight the war in full motion. So in Gita, while the Jnana Yoga is sprinkled all over, one part which is again and again emphasized is the akarta abhokta bhava. That is what he focused on 4th chapter, 5th chapter. In the 18th chapter, he again refreshes the akarta abhokta bhava. Similarly, he said, na kuruvanna na karayan. You are neither the doer nor the instigator also. So this is the emphasis given for Arjuna, targeted Arjuna. So the idea is what? Wherever other things are glorified, it is only Arthavada shloka, depending on the type of audience you give it. In fact, this contradictory, seeming contradiction is there all over, even in the Vedas itself. Even in the Vedas itself, it is there. But if you take it in totality, you will understand which is the important one. I hope I have answered it.
Rajesh bhai, you heard? Rajesh? Is he there or?
Yes. I said thank you so much. Sorry, I have some issues with my iPhone. So I am really grateful for Sri Ravi ji for the wonderful answer. And I would love to hear it again when the talk is posted. Really appreciate the efforts he took in explaining.
It is available on our YouTube channel as well as our Facebook channel.
Right.
It's available at any time. You can always access it and you can listen to the speech again. Yeah.
Right. Thank you so much.
Yeah, but Ravi, I feel that this may not be fully Arthavada also. Basically, looking at different types of mindsets, because all people are different. So basically, for some people, some attitudes are good, and for some other people, some other attitudes are good. So what is Arthavada for some may not be Arthavada for the other. So basically, probably it could be that Krishna is also talking to different natures of peoples and taking all of them, like a person who is emotional, for them bhakti yoga is good. For a person who is intellectual, is jnana yoga is good. And for some people who are very active, maybe karma yoga is good. So that could be one way of looking at it, right? What do you say?
The point, let us be very clear. Ultimately, everybody has to come to jnanam for moksha. There's no question about it. So Depending on the audience, you exaggerate and glorify certain things at this point of time. So somebody appeals with Karma Yoga, stay with Karma Yoga. At some point of time, you will gradually move there. Somebody is doing puja and Parayanam and chanting, is very good. It's okay. That's fine. But at some point, if you want to have ultimately moksha, jnanam is the only way. Nanyah panta ayanaya vidyate. Purusha Suktam. So that knowledge is the ultimate. So to come to the knowledge, all the preparation, whichever you do, it's fine. So for the other audience, you always glorify. That's why I gave you the example of mathematics. So it's basically exaggeration to encourage them to come into ultimately things.
Yeah.
Aneka
Anyway,
janma samsiddha tado yanti parangati. Bhagavan says.
It will definitely lead to jnana only. There no doubt about it. And even I think real bhakti is also in the end, real bhakti and real jnana are all both the same. So I don't think there's much difference between the two.
Okay, since
yeah, go ahead.
Okay, since Krishna ji, you mentioned a point, and then I'm also tempted to say that when you read the shloka, where Shri Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita that, what is that? After so many births, Jnanvanam Mam Prapadyate.
Yeah.
Right. Vasudevam Sarvamiti Sa Mahatma Sudurlabha. Right. This is the iconic shlok. I had the impression that Shri Krishna is saying this, and that's what I learned from my mentors and gurus also, that after so many births of spiritual practices, Jnanvan Mam Prapadyate Vasudevam Sarvamiti Sa Mahatma Sudurlabha. Here, my understanding is that bhakti is considered superior than gyan. You got the gyan, and then you realized that I have to see the divinity in everyone, in every place, in every particle. And then you develop the love for the Lord. You start seeing Him everywhere, which is bhakti, which is love for God. And I have always maintained that the love for God, which is bhakti, is superior to gyan. Gyan leads you to that. But many friends of mine believe the other way, that Gyan is the ultimate. I will rest my case because this is my belief. And also, just last couple of points. Like I have heard about a beautiful story that, someone found a ring falling on the road. He picked it up. He thought maybe a fake gold or a fake stone. He did not have the knowledge about the ring. So he thought it may be just 100 rupees. But then when an expert saw that, he said, no, it is pure gold. Then his love for that increased. And then a gemologist came to his house and he said, oh, this is pure diamond. And his love increased many times more. So as his knowledge grew, his love for the ring developed, which is bhakti. Thank you so much.
Vasudeva refers to, ultimately, Vasuhu means Satrupam. Satrupa Brahman, the existence principle. Devaha refers to the Chitrupa Brahman. So it talks about the Brahma Jnanam ultimately. That is the way I have been taught. So whichever you got it, it's fine. But that's Vasudeva Sarvamiti means Sarvam Brahmamayam Jagat. That is the meaning.
Right. Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Thanks
for the opportunity, Krishna ji, to let me say what I wanted to say.
Definitely, of course, everybody should say whatever they want to say. I mean, because you're also very spiritually literate, so all opinions are welcome. And we, there is no ultimately only for the self-realized person only there is a truth. The rest we are only for us is intellectual, so it doesn't really matter too much. So thank you so much to everybody. Unless there are any other questions, we're already getting to 1:30. So any other questions to anybody? Okay, if there are no other questions, I think we'll terminate the session for today. So thank you so much to our guest of honor for today, this Dr. Varaprasadji, and also speaker for today, Sri Raviji, and also all the lead chanters, Padmaniji, Sindhuji, Rajitaji, and Lataji, and Ashutoshji, and Vinodriji. I hope I didn't miss out anybody. And everybody else who has participated in today's session. Thank you so much. It was a very, very wonderful talk by Raviji, as always. Thanks so much. And I think Srinivas, you want to say something? Yeah.
Thanks to Sri, but our thanks is also includes Sri Krishna Marji for organizing the Zoom session very effectively. Thank you very much.
Yeah, and for me it was extremely hard because Gita Vani is on my head. For the past 3-4 days, I've been sleeping for maybe like few hours, couple of hours a day. So yesterday I went to sleep at 6:30 a.m. And I woke up at 8:30. Okay, anyway, that's okay. So see you everybody at the next session, and thanks so much. Okay, bye bye.
See you all on the Havan day.
Yeah, see you on. Raviji, you are coming for the Havan, right?
Yes.
And Raviji is having an important function tomorrow, so some people may be attending there also.
Thank you.
Okay, then. Thank you, everybody. See you. Bye bye, and see you next time, next session.
Hari Om.